It's an FA Cup match night on both BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. Ipswich Town are in fifth round action away at Nottingham Forest at the City Ground with former Town striker Alex Mathie alongside your commentator Brenna Woolley.
The Town's Premier League future looking decidedly fragile. How we could all do with this FA Cup run continuing. We'll win tonight and Kieran McKenna's men are into the quarter-finals. Just one more victory away from Wembley. What a lift that would give fans who are understandably a little down in the dumps given recent league form. Well, after seeing off Bristol Rovers and Coventry fairly comfortably in the previous two rounds, this is clearly a sizable step up against a Forest side that's not only third in the Premier League but one that's also seen off Town here already this season. A Chris Wood penalty, the difference between these two teams back in November. With the last day draw already having been made, we know that this evening's winners will travel to Brighton next at the end of this month. And remember, the tie has to be settled tonight, so don't rule out a late one. Forest in the last round went all the way with Exeter before seeing them off on penalty kicks. And Alex, it would be lovely, wouldn't it, to carry on in the Cup, or one of those, you're one of those, or are you one of those who wants to concentrate on the league now?
No, definitely. I think this is a big opportunity for the Ipswich Town and the fans. I mean, I think the clubs don't realise what the FA Cup means to the fans, and a lot of the big clubs that need to take note of that, because these fans want a trip to Wembley. Okay, the big clubs might not bother about it as much, but I think it's really important for the fans to get a run in the Cup, to get as far as they can in the Cup, because it's a completely different aspect to the game. You go to see different grounds, and it's just big occasions. I think it's just fantastic.
Well, that's it. Clearly there are some very, very good clubs still left in the competition. Numerous clubs above Ipswich Town in the Premier League table. Forest amongst them, Brighton amongst them. But as we sit here ready to watch this game, Ipswich Town are still in the FA Cup. Manchester United aren't, Liverpool aren't, Chelsea aren't, Arsenal aren't, Newcastle United aren't, so it's a really interesting 7 clubs already in the hat. Obviously Manchester City's still in there and the pretty hot favourites to go the distance, but there is a chance for one of these clubs, or a Brighton or a Palace or a Bournemouth, to be there towards the end of May at Wembley. The two teams out in front of us here at the City Ground. Not too many empty seats, expectantly waiting supporters for this fifth round fixture. The first time Town have got this far in 18 years. It's over 3 decades since they last reached the quarter-finals. They're trying to reach their 8th quarter-final down the years, Ipswich Town. And as expected, Kieran McKenna's made loads of changes, 8 in total. The 3 survivors from Old Trafford are Palmer, the goalkeeper, Twanzebe, the right-back, and Morsey, the captain, in midfield. No armband for Luke Wolfenden on this occasion, having just heard from him there on match night. So Palmer in goal, a back four of Twanzebe, Wolfenden, Burgess and Townsend. Then it's Morsey, the captain, alongside Luongo. It's only the Australian's 4th start of the season, his last against Bristol Rovers in round 3. In front of them are 3 of Johnson, Taylor and Broadhead, and Jack Hurst leads the line in front of his national manager Steve Clarke. We understand that both Steve Clarke and Thomas Tuchel are here. I don't know who Clarke's looking at beyond Hurst, but it's a good opportunity for Hurst to audition in front of the Scotland manager. Tuchel will be hoping to see Delap at some stage, maybe Davis, maybe Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi and so on. Anyway, on the bench for Town, Murich, O'Shea, Greaves, Davis, Kiyuste, Philogene, Clarke, Delap and the youngster Tommy Taylor, a 19-year-old who's an attacking midfielder or striker from the club's academy. The first time he's been involved at all, so great experience for him whether or not he gets on the field and makes his debut. 5 survivors from the Arsenal team that drew 0-0 with Arsenal last midweek, so 6 changes in total. The survivors are Seltz, Aina, Murillo, Alanga and Hudson-Odoi. Seltz is the goalkeeper. The back four is Aina, Murillo, Murato and Moreno. Then you've got the 2 of Yates, the captain, alongside Sangare. The attacking 3 in midfield stretched across the pitch. Alanga, Danilo and Hudson-Odoi. Awani is their striker with a number 9 on his back. On the bench, Hennessy is a very experienced goalkeeper. Williams, Anderson, Gibbs-White, who I mentioned, Wood, who's got 18 goals for them this season, Dominguez, Silva, Sosa, who scored in the two previous rounds, Sosa, and Bolly, the centre-half. As ever, we're listening to Mull of Kintyre, the Nottingham Forest theme tune, if you like. Numerous supporters with their red and white scarves in the air as the two teams are in their pre-match huddle. Ipswich Town playing from right to left in blue, white, blue. Aside from Palmer in all yellow. Palmer made his Town debut at Coventry in the last round. Up against Forest in their traditional red shirts and socks with the white shorts In between FA Cup 5th round night, live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. It's the final tie of the round. Which one of these two Premier League sides is going to reach the last 8? Arguably the finest domestic cup competition in the world. Burgess to Hurst as layoff goes straight to the right back. Aina almost won back by Broadhead, not for long, as Hurst upends his man in midfield, which was Elanga. Now the ball's back with Seltz, the Belgian, just gets it away from Hurst. Chested down by Johnson though. Chance for Ipswich Town to cause some problems inside the opening minute. Morsey, 30 yards out, knocks the ball into the box, but it was aimless. Didn't get his head up and look there, really, Morsey. It's out behind, goal kick to Seltz.
Good press from Ipswich Town to start with, and got the ball in. Morsey probably should have done better with his cross into the box. It's a bit of a nothing ball, there was nobody there, but a good start from Ipswich Town, a good high press, and causing Forest some problems right from the word go.
Yeah, it's 15 games Town have had here without success since that last win in 1999. Good work from Luongo, getting in front of Aina. Clipped long by Ipswich Town, brought down on the right thigh there at the back by Murato. Aina on this near side again, right just in front of Kieran McKenna. Hudson-Odoi down the right wing, infield to Yates, the captain. Forest have it with a tall player, Sangare. Once again, the Ivorian gets another touch of the ball. Aina, the Nigerian, number 34 near side, rolls it forward, gets it back from Hudson-Odoi again on the right. Aina approaching the edge of the Ipswich area. First time Forest have come forward in this opening couple of minutes of this cup tie. Sangare spoons the ball over the top of the outstretched leg of Broadhead. It goes out of play before Aina can do anything with it. And that's a throw to Town on this near side that Townsend, the left back, will take.
He's a big lad, Sangare, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
He really is. Looks as if he likes to get on the ball and lots of little touches. That wasn't a good pass from him to pass out for a throw in though.
Here is Burgess, hasn't featured in league squads of late. Townsend goes back to Palmer. It's going towards the goal, that's why one or two fans were getting excited from a Forest perspective, but Palmer spared the blushes of Townsend. Wide on the right hand side, Taylor into the path of Johnson far side, but it's driven out of play on the slide by Moreno, the left back. Spanish defender on loan from Nottingham Forest this season. Town get the ball quickly back into play with Morsey. Under the lights at the City Ground on the banks of the River Trent. Final football stadium, this one. Morsey, crossfield ball, picks out Townsend, controls it on his left instep. In comes his early cross to centre, flick on, and it's saved. It was Broadhead with the header, saved by Seltz, and he's all light blue behind him. That's a great ball in from Connor Townsend.
It was a good early ball as well. I thought Broadhead actually should have maybe done a little bit better.
Wide on the left hand side, it's Elanga. It's interesting that he's playing down the left rather than the right, which we expected him to. Hudson-Odoi, who has got some England caps from his Chelsea days. Hudson-Odoi, he's the player out there that Thomas Tuchel will be keeping tabs on from the starting 11s anyway. Ball right the way through to Palmer. Awani playing with the face mask on. Couldn't get there. Town have it with Burgess, who has been very unfortunate not to play more league minutes. Whenever he's been called upon in the Premier League, he's done a good job, the Australian. Gets the ball back from his fellow Aussie in midfield, Luongo, another dependable performer for Town. Here is Sam Morsey. Yet to find out, well, Calvin Phillips' chances are of playing at Selhurst Park this coming weekend. Full match commentary on match day on Saturday. Mick Mills alongside me in South London for the third successive away trip for Town. Wolfenden gives the ball to Morsey. Far side, it's with Twanzebe, another survivor from Old Trafford. Such a disappointing result that was. A cup win this evening would go some way to making amends for sure. It'll be quite some scalp.
They're not doing a high press. Forest, they're giving us a lot of time on the ball. Morsey's seen a lot of the ball we start with, and he's got a lot of space to come forward with it. Even the two centre halves as well.
Townsend with a throw up towards Hurst. Hurst just eased off the ball by Murata. He felt that the Brazilian overstepped the mark in terms of physicality. Hurst, nothing given though. Aina started his career at Chelsea, had a spell in Italy with Torino. Aina has had a fine season at right back for Forest, who came through initially as a centre half. Belted forward by Murillo. What a player he is. Palmer's quickly out of his area, controlled pass finding Johnson. Good calm play from the Ipswich Town keeper.
Yeah, too easy that though. One ball straight over pinged straight down the middle between the centre half and full back. Can't be doing that, it's too easy for Forest, that.
Burgess picking out Morsey again in space that Alex was just highlighting. Morsey over the top towards Hurst. Hurst heads it into the area looking for Broadhead. For the moment there is strike partner pretty much. Awani battling with Burgess. Burgess almost loses him. He does get some help from Wolfenden. Good help there from Wolfenden. He was in the right position, otherwise Awani might have been away. Hurst goes down again. The referee says play on. Murillo tries a slide rule pass centrally towards Awani. Burgess goes back to Palmer. He's had a few touches early on of the ball, not with his gloves, just with his feet so far, Alex Palmer.
He's set his stall out, the referee, with the centre half coming through Hurst a few times. Hopefully he'll do it the other way as well, because he's a couple of them were fouls, but Hurst will just need to be a little bit stronger and try and hold it off Murata.
Aina down in front of us. The referee tonight, incidentally, Tony Harrington, who did the last league meeting here, coincidentally, gave Forest the penalty from which Wood scored the only goal. And of course, Forest are Ipswich Town's next home opponents. They come to Portman Road a week on Saturday. Forest playing it around at the back. Morato to Murillo. Now it's with the Brazilian Murillo. Such a cultured footballer, naturally gifted player. Forest through Danilo. Strong Brazilian influence in this Forest side tonight. Murillo gives it to Sangare, up towards the halfway line, doesn't quite get there, held up by blue shirts. On the right, Aina again near side. Plenty possession for Forest at the moment, but Ipswich Town standing their ground, keeping their shape. Happy enough for Forest to have the ball inside their half. Now Hudson-Odoi crosses halfway. Lovely play from Hudson-Odoi to Alanga, wide right in space outside the Ipswich area. Knocks the ball towards the D. Back comes Morsey. Important intervention there as his opposing captain Yates was getting ready to strike goalwards from 18 yards. Aina for Forest. Gives it to Alanga. Alanga round the back to Yates inside the area. He tucks it out to the right-hand side, and Hudson-Odoi, he and Alanga, real flying machines. Aina hits deflected. Flick header back to the right-hand side. Forest still in possession in the left back berth outside the Ipswich area. In front of the Town fans off to our right. Aina gives it to Sangare. All 10 blue shirts jam-packed into the third off to our right, trying to hold Forest up. Hudson-Odoi one-on-one with Broadhead. Bypasses them to Alanga, gets it back. Lovely play from the two wide men. Cross comes off Townsend. Forest win the first corner.
Yeah, good play from Forest, keeping the ball. They can step up. They've got some really good quality players on the ball. Good 1-2 there. Thought we could have defended that a little bit better than what we did, but corner to Forest.
Yeah, Alanga and Hudson-Odoi, two players that could cause Ipswich Town problems. It's interesting that Nuno has picked his out-and-out first-choice wide man for this game whilst resting others, and already they've looked purposeful. Alanga and Hudson-Odoi. Alanga on this first corner kick of the game for Nottingham Forest, and it comes glanced off a Forest head, who possibly could have done better. Out to the left-hand side, Morato recycles. Forest get the ball back to Aina, deepest lying outfield player. Again, Forest on the far side, their left. In comes the cross towards the penalty spot. Drops down inside the area, maybe a chance. Clever little back heel from Murillo. Into the middle it comes from Alanga, blocked off by Townsend. Another corner kick. That was a lovely little bit of skill from Murillo to set up the cross.
It was. Morsey just turned his back on him, and it's a lovely little flick. Caught everybody out.
Wow, not too many centre halves you'd see doing that. That was really nice from Murillo. TV cameras zooming in on him. Classic Brazilian skill from him. Alanga with a corner kick, glancing header across the face of goal. Goodness me, that was very close. When it was met by the head of Sangare, I was convinced that was going in the far corner.
Yeah, so was that, Brenner. That's a let-off. It's a free header again. Ball coming into the box. It's a free header. He's got in front of him. Luongo's got. Is it Broadhead? Or I think it's Luongo. He needs to get tighter. He should have done better, Alanga. It just swerved run by the post, didn't it?
Wow, coat of paint away there. That was very, very close. Palmer was nowhere near it. He was rooted to the spot. It was just a glancing header that went right diagonally through the 6-yard area. Just a whisker away from 1-0 Forest. We've seen 9.5 goalless minutes on BBC Suffolk Sport and also BBC Sounds, because it's an FA Cup competition. People can listen from around the country to this particular fixture on BBC Sounds. Luongo keeps the ball rolling to Wolfenden, the right-sided of the two Town centre halves. Town with 8 changes from last Wednesday night, if you're just joining us and missed the build-up on match night. Morsey to Wolfenden to the centre spot, through a little gap between a couple of Forest players. He found Luongo, he goes back there to Burgess, and the ball's 8, 9, 10 yards perhaps inside the Ipswich Town half of the field. Town, of course, hoping to break their 2025 duck in the league this coming weekend. Their only 2 wins this calendar year have come in this competition. In fact, if they win tonight, there have as many FA Cup wins this season as they have in the Premier League, as Murillo goes into the back of Broadhead centrally in the Forest half.
Yeah, that's been the problem, just not winning games, isn't it?
Yeah.
Drawn too many, lost too many.
It's 8 without. Certainly the last win was Chelsea. Some bad results in there. Fulham was a disappointment, Manchester United was a disappointment, Southampton was a massive disappointment at Portman Road. But hopefully that run can end this weekend, albeit Palace a good side, even without Mateta and the banned Hughes.
I think he makes a difference on Mateta.
Free kick for Ipswich Town. Johnson knocks it into the area towards Hurst. Hurst keeps it in play by the corner flag. Everything seemed to stop there. The game kind of went into slow motion. Offside flags up far side. Town made a right mess of that.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was saying, what's Hurst doing? He's taking his time getting to that.
Yeah.
I think he knew he was offside.
Oh, poor from Ipswich, really. Free kick at the back to Nottingham Forest.
You can't put crosses in. When you get the ball, you've got to create. I mean, Morrissey's has a couple of opportunities to put the ball into the box. Hurst again, straight free kick there. It's got to be better. It's got to have more quality.
Yeah, those 3 survivors from the other night: Palmer, Twanzebe and Morsey. The rest of the team, pretty much as you would expect. The likes of this man, Townsend, playing. Luongo's now on the ball. Broadhead just got a touch. Broadhead then gets a touch of Yates. Good advantage played by the referee. Alanga and Hudson-Odoi momentarily both on this near side of the field. Here is Sangare, who's had the best chance of the game so far with that header. Now Murillo, the left-sided centre half, out to the left, and that's Moreno. Moreno back to Murillo. Little drag back away from Taylor, who closed him down. Forest playing it from right to left along their back line. Now it's knocked over the top by Danilo. After it goes Alanga, and then it's touched behind in the end by Wolfenden, when there seemed to be a lack of communication and hesitancy between he and Palmer. Wolfenden did the right thing, he just got the ball off the pitch.
Yeah, I thought the goalkeeper should maybe have came for that one, Brenner. But it's a bit short. He was caught in 2 minds, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But Wolfie's done well there.
He did, because all of a sudden there was somebody coming in on the blind side. He had red shirts either side of him running back into his own area, and Palmer was rather caught short. He wasn't going to get there. Corner kick to Forest. Exactly 13 minutes played in this FA Cup tie. Anthony Alanga bends it in. Low, might still be troublesome. No, Morsey puts his right boot behind the ball, hits it up into the Nottinghamshire clouds and down on halfway for Aina.
Yeah, I still think as well, we bring everybody man, and a lot of teams do it now. They bring everybody back from corners, but when they clear the ball, there's nobody up there to do anything with it. So it might be worthwhile just leaving somebody up there, but nobody does it nowadays.
Nope.
Strange.
It is, isn't it? Nobody to hold the ball up or break. Here is Morsey finding Broadhead. No, he doesn't. Poor ball from Morsey. Yates to the right-hand side, and Hudson-Odoi, a chance for him to have a run at Townsend. That's a real test for Townsend. Hudson-Odoi puts his cross into the box, headed away well by Johnson. When as far as Moreno, there's a shot. It dips, but not quickly enough. It's out behind for a goal kick this time.
Yeah, good defending from Town. If we can keep them down to 25-yard shots, we'll be happy. Yeah, he's never going to score. It's always rising, that, isn't it?
Forest have beaten Luton and then Exeter on penalties to get to this stage. Could have been at St James's Park in Devon tonight if that shootout had gone differently. Got to this stage last year, beaten here 1-0 by Manchester United.
Yeah, they were lucky against Exeter. I watched that game.
They were, weren't they? Because they brought some of the big guns on after 90 minutes and couldn't get the winning goal before it went to spot kicks. A few people thinking this one might go the distance. 0-0 at the moment. Townsend down this left-hand side. Always done well for Town whenever he's played, Connor Townsend, in League or Cup. Starts have tended to be in Cup competitions. The referee says that was nothing wrong with a challenge from Yates on him, even though he ended up on the deck, Townsend. It's a Forest throw rather than a Town free kick.
I'm not being funny, but that's a foul. He's got to give a foul for that. It's all over them.
They did get to the quarter-finals 3 years ago, beaten 1-0 here by Liverpool Forest, but that's their only time since 1996 that they've reached the last stage of this cup competition. Of course, never won it under Brian Clough. Got to the final in 91, the Gaza final, which a lot of people remember. That was Clough's big chance to tick this competition off. Won just about everything else in his time at Nottingham Forest, but it's one thing that Bobby Robson had over him in terms of his cup success in 78. Still waiting for our first goal of the night here in the 16th minute. Both sides much changed. Forward from Aina. Yates gets it onto this near side. Hudson-Odoi can't keep it in play. It's a throw which has gone the way of Connor Townsend. He's got the ball in his right hand, throws it to the halfway line, and Hurst holds it up, gives it to Broadhead back to Hurst. Good play between the pair of them, but then Marato wins the ball back for Forest. Sangare has been held back by Luongo. Referee said play on. Sangare held off Luongo. Again, good refereeing. Down the right hand side, Hudson-Odoi on a mazy dribbles, got support to his right. Langa. Luongo brings down Hudson-Odoi and gets an early yellow card. Luongo, partly for the initial challenge on Sangare, but then for that trip on Alanga.
Yeah, that's a yellow card. That's a yellow card. It's a silly challenge from Luongo.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
There's two other players there. It's a bad position as well. This could be dangerous here because the set plays have been quite good from Forest so far.
Hudson-Odoi who was tripped there by Luongo. Very, very clumsy challenge. Can't have any complaints about it. The referee had already made a note in his head that Luongo had been all over Sangare just 10 seconds before that most recent infringement. Alanga, clearly the man for set pieces in the final third, paces back a few yards. About 3 yards from the right corner of the Ipswich area, off to our right-hand side. The Swede stood over this set piece. It's 0-0 in this cup tie, and it comes from Alanga. Palmer comes towards it, great punch away from him.
That's a fantastic punch for the goalkeeper. Takes the pressure off his teammates, coming out for that and connecting well. Great punch from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's been a good bit of business in the January transfer window, Alex Palmer. Thrown over on the far side. The Spaniard Moreno is going to be taking it for Forest, and it loops towards the Ipswich area. Forest have the ball with Awani, can't find a teammate, cleared partially by Ipswich, one back by Aina of Forest, and then his stumbling pass shot comes to nothing. Goal kick to Alex Palmer. Still 0-0 with 18 on the clock.
Yeah, there's not a lot of quality out there just now, isn't there? But you always think that Forest have got that little bit extra. They look as if they could just step up at any time.
Yeah, a little bit similar to the league game. When I remember thinking at the time, it looked like a couple of championship sides on that occasion, Forest and Ipswich. Very little special about that particular match. There is Wolfenden giving the ball square to Burgess inside the Ipswich area. Awani closes him down. Burgess goes back to Palmer. Palmer out to Wolfenden. Wolfenden then drops a shoulder back to Palmer. A little bit risky. Palmer's given it away and gets it back. It's all very tippy-tappy inside the Ipswich Town area. Alex Matthew's laughing, but I don't know if many Town fans or Kieran McKenna are, but Town have thankfully got away with that.
I don't know how they did, brother.
Me neither.
I really don't.
Miraculous, really. Oh, that was just waiting to go terribly wrong, but it didn't. Phew. The heart rate can calm down a little bit because Town have got the ball on halfway. Burgess to Townsend. Touched back by Broadhead to halfway. And Morsey. Here is Morsey. I'd love to see the heart monitor and Luke Wolfenden in a moment like that, because he is one of the calmest, coolest people in football, but I wonder if he raised a beat, because it got very, very sticky for Ipswich Town, with the red shirt starting to sense an opportunity and starting to almost outnumber the Blues as they grew in confidence in the Ipswich Town area, as Town played 5 or 6 yard pass after 5 or 6 yard pass. Here is Wolfenden getting towards the halfway line. It's goalless, just north of the centre circle as we look at things. The number 6, good to hear from him earlier on a match night. Terrible from Wolfenden, gives it straight away to Sangare. Down off the ball goes a Forest man. I think it's Alanga.
I think we need to see, like Adam Webster used to do, just a gallant run right through the middle. Yeah. I think we need to see something like that, because they're leading. There's plenty of space on the ball to run with the ball, but we're panicking a little bit. We're going through with it, but we're not doing anything with it, just like Wolfie's done there.
Yeah, it was Richard Keogh's game as well in recent years. Maybe didn't do as much for Ipswich Town, but we saw him do it for Derby County on numerous occasions. But Adam Webster is spot on as the ball is belted forward. Might see Adam Webster in the next round if we manage to see Ipswich Town through tonight. Brighton away was what came out of the hat yesterday. Here is Aina, gives it to Hudson-Odoi in flashes. He's shown what he's about. Very quick of foot. Tommy Taylor, the youngster on the Ipswich bench, just walking back with Leif Davis. Looks a tall lad down underneath us at the moment.
He does, doesn't he?
Here is Aina with the ball just in front of him on halfway. Back he goes to Morato. Morato with a diagonal to the far side, looking for Alanga, headed away by Twanzebe. Morsey volleys it on to Jack Taylor. His head down to Johnson, doesn't work out. Town give the ball away, but Twanzebe intercepts. Taylor loses the ball wide on the left hand side. Forest have it now with Moreno in behind on the left hand side. Alanga's cross into the Town area, is brought down on the right toes of the boot of Wolfenden on full stretch. Yeah, Taylor, more Alex.
Good from Wolfie there. Good, read it well.
Morsey draws in Awani, then runs away from him. Had 3 years at Liverpool earlier on in his career. Teo Awani, third season here from Union Berlin. Cost Forest 17 million. They spent a lot of money, Forest. I think as a newly promoted side, as they were 3 summers ago, I think they've spent more than any club. Ipswich Town, I think, is second in that particular table. What Town spent last summer, they did lavish quite a bit on their recruitment, Ipswich Town.
We had to though, didn't we? We really had to.
Townsend up towards Hurst. That's a good ball. Not the best of touches. Far from it by Hurst. He's better than that. Aina up towards Awani. Awani might be away from the Town back line. Back comes Twanzebe to cover up. Awani, edge of the area, gives it to Alanga. Alanga might fancy a shot. He has a go, but it was always curling away.
Yeah, it's important for Hurst. I mean, he's not really started great today, Hurst. I know he's not started the game for a wee while, but he's really got to be getting a hold of the ball a little bit better to give us some of a respite, because as soon as that came back, they were in and goal. One ball over the top, we're in. And obviously with Steve Clark here today, we want to impress, but he just needs to get back to basics and get a hold of the ball, be an outlet for us.
Quarter of the 90 minutes gone, still waiting for the first goal. Forest strong here, of course, unbeaten in their last 8 on this pitch in all competitions. 2 losses here in 13 Premier League games, and of course they have won at both Liverpool and Manchester United this season. Not that winning at Manchester United seems particularly praiseworthy in this era, but the win at Anfield, Liverpool's only Premier League defeat still. Here come Ipswich Town. Nice link-up play far side between Taylor drifting to that right and Johnson, who's positioned there. Broadhead has it, still in the centre circle. Sam Morsey, the skipper, who checks his rear view mirrors, sees that Awani's not interested. Taylor crosses into the Forest box, takes a deflection, could be an awkward one to deal with. Townsend tries to put it into a dangerous area, blocked off by Aina. Townsend did the right thing. He's got it back. In comes the cross from Townsend. Great ball, headed away by Murillo out behind. Kind of on a first corner kick. He can cross a ball, Connor Townsend.
He certainly can. I was just about to say that's another fantastic ball in from Townsend. I tell you what, he's done the right thing. He's go for goal with that first initial shot, but that second ball in, it's a great ball. Great left foot.
Well, what can Ipswich Town do from their first corner kick? Haven't really tested Celt so far, but they might do here with this set piece from Townsend, the number 22. In it comes, travelled a distance out as far as Johnson hits it down. That was motoring, but it's blocked off by Danilo, and out in the left back area outside the Forest area for an Ipswich Town, for a little bit of pressure from the away team.
Yeah, and actually making Nottingham Forest defend, make them think about it, because it's been Forest most of the time going forward. So good from Town, putting a little bit of pressure on Forest.
Twanzebe throws the ball back to Morsey. Now in the centre circle, the Egyptian. He'll come forward. Could have gone a bit further, but he's checked out and gone to the right, far side. Twanzebe down the line. Johnson, who turns 180, gets it back to Morsey. Also involved in that triangular passes now. Twanzebe. That's the Ipswich right. Morsey lifts the ball beyond our knee to Burgess in the centre. Town trying a different angle of approach, maybe down this left-hand side. Townsend's available. Forward it goes to Luongo. His layoff sees Broadhead stretch and eventually get on the ball. Broadhead picks out Burgess, picks out Luongo. Good play from Ipswich, this. And then that's a terrible ball, completely the wrong connection from Luongo, who raises his right palm apologetically. What a shame, because that was good play from Town.
Yeah, and he did well there, Luongo, and that's what we need to do. We need to get Luongo, Morsey on the ball. Morsey's getting a lot of the ball. He's his outlet. I'd like to see him just take a risk and gallop forward into that space, and then he needs somebody coming off the centre half, or the centre forward coming off the centre half, or the fullback, the winger coming off the fullback, so he can play a little 1-2 and continue his run, because it's on. It really is.
Nice little ball threaded through from Burgess to find Luongo, but then, as I said, he got it terribly wrong, sadly. Celts with this goal kick for Forest, bang in the centre of his 6-yard area, off to our left. TV cameras now on Nuno being a Forest manager as Twanzebe heads the ball back towards his own area, then gifts it to Palmer. Palmer belts it, first time right-footed. It's a nudge in the back on Hurst by Morato. Aina gives it back to his goalkeeper. Hurst continues the chase after the ball. Celts puts it skywards towards Danilo. He's not really been on the ball yet, thankfully, because he's a very good footballer. Twanzebe on the halfway line to Wolfenden. He's looking at Palmer, and he gives it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, good work from Hurst there, closing down. I mean, it's a tough job for the centre forward up there himself against the two centre halves. He's on there, and they're two big lads as well, so he's not got an easy job, Hurst.
Yeah, they're decent. Forest, as we were saying earlier on, with that Nikola Milenkovic tonight, the Serbian who's been a mainstay at the back. He's had a fantastic season for them, but Morato looks up to the challenge, playing alongside Murillo. Here is Aina with a throw midway inside the Town half, still waiting for the first goal of this FA Cup 5th round tie. Aina towards Alanga, who's made a run in the pocket down the right hand side of the Ipswich area in front of the Town fans. Burgess and Townsend get the ball away. They're a useful pair to the left of the Town defence. Morata has been very physical with Hurst. Kieran McKenna appeals, and the referee gives Ipswich Town that decision. He's very physical, Morata, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely, and it's well played from Hurst. He was a little bit stronger there, and he's held the ball up well there. I mean, Morata's all over him. It's a clear foul, but that's what he's got to do. But the referee needs to protect him as well.
As Forest beat Brighton 7-0 here in one of the most eye-catching results of the entire Premier League season.
Yeah, that was ridiculous, wasn't it?
Crazy. I think Brighton's at 5 wins in all competitions since then. They certainly won at St James's Park yesterday. Long ball forward from Townsend towards Hurst. So no Sam Smodics on the Ipswich Town bench tonight. It's only taken me an hour and a half to notice that, but that's an interesting one. Hopefully he's available at the weekend. Here is Townsend giving the ball to Morsey, dropping a shoulder, getting the better of Sangare, who's not been on the ball for a while. Taylor, another start for him, crosses halfway. The Republic of Ireland international allows Johnson to get on the ball. He gives the ball in field to Morsey. Morsey forward. Johnson's going to try and get behind. An opportunity for Johnson to show what he can do in an attacking sense, because obviously Town a little bit light in terms of players down that right hand side without Ogbenny, Burns, question marks over Hutchinson. Philogene yet to hit top form. It's an opportunity for Johnson to catch the eye ahead of a run of league fixtures.
It's a good run that from Johnson. It's just a poor ball from Morsey, really.
29 minutes on the clock. Not much quality in this game at all between these two sides. Wolfenden's header onto the chest of Broadhead. A couple of keepy-uppy touches. Welshman tries to change direction. He was unlucky. Aina got the rub of the green. Aina on the centre spot to Danilo. Danilo's caught by Johnson, but manages to hold on to the ball. Now it's Alanga on the left, having a little run at Twanzebe. Two former Manchester United players. Great pace by Alanga, but great defending from Twanzebe to get back at him. And it's come off Alanga. It's a goal kick. Superb work from the Town right back.
Yeah, definitely. And to be fair, I like Johnson and Twanzebe out there, because Johnson, I know he's not the best, as good as what we've got going forward, I get that, but what it does do, it gives us that stability.
Yeah.
More defensive.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need Brenner, you know what I mean, when we've got just on the one side, and they look good together.
Yeah, I totally agree. They were partnered at Tottenham when, of course, Town had that first Premier League win of the season. Got a decent understanding, those two. And Alanga is very, very rapid. We just saw that there. There's good Swedish players around at the moment, playing very well in the Premier League and elsewhere. You look at the likes of Isak Gyökeres. Kiyusta has been doing well for Town. Alanga, Ayari is at Brighton. There'll be others. They've got a very strong up-and-coming generation at national level. Here is Aina. Knocks the ball forward towards Alanga, headed away by Wolfenden. Infield comes Johnson. Too heavy a touch, then stretches, catches Yates. Yates has stayed down, looking towards the referee for a free kick. He's not going to get anything.
Yeah, he can't say nothing, Yates. The number of challenges he leaves his boot in.
Quite right. Yeah, exactly. He understands it's a physical game. Yeah, that would be pot calling the kettle if he were to complain too much about a challenge like that, and he hasn't, to give him his due. Play back underway with a Town throw far side. Still looking for the first goal as these two sides try to reach the last stage of the FA Cup. Be terrific for Town to do that. Burgess over the top towards Townsend. Fabulous ball from the centre half. Townsend can't get his cross in. Aina matched him. Out of play it goes.
Great run, great ball.
Wasn't it? Good down either side in terms of, we talked about the right hand side connection, Twanzebe and Johnson, but I like the understanding between Burgess and Townsend, both very good players having good seasons. Townsend throws the ball to Luongo, gets it back. Now it's with the Australian. Infield to Morsey. Obviously no worries about Luongo and Morsey forming a partnership. They know all about each other's game. Broadhead back towards Morsey, controls it on his left, shifts it back on his right to Wolfenden. Wolfenden, who captained Town in the last cup game when Morsey, don't think he featured at all at Coventry. Burgess towards Luongo, in some space in midfield, carried the ball 10 yards. Townsend on the left, gives it back to Luongo. Aina has a bite at him. Out of play it goes through to Town.
Talking about partnerships, I like Burgess and Wolfie together as well.
Yep, absolutely. Town have got four very, very good centre halves in terms of O'Shea and Greaves plus these two. Here is Luongo crossing the ball into the Forest area as Town go in search of the opening goal of this tie. Johnson prevents it going out for a throw, but not a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a shame, Luongo and Morsey, the final ball, but they've been getting on it, but they've been hitting them too far, number of occasions now, and we need them to be accurate. When we get that time in the ball, we've got to pick somebody out. We really have, because if you don't, in the Premiership, as we found out, you get punished, Brenner.
Very similar to the first meeting between these two sides, far from a classic. 13 minutes to go until half time. As tight as we expected it to be, really 0-0. Wolfenden glances a header back to Palmer, well defended by the Town number 6. Here is Burgess again. Yeah, really healthy competition at centre half going forward for Ipswich Town. Here is Palmer out towards Luongo, back to Palmer inside the area, off to our right. Again, Town with this fantastic away support behind that goal that Palmer standing in front of. Broadhead knocked off the ball. Kieran McKenna very unhappy. Aina up towards Yates, back to goal, 30 yards out, controls it, then lays it off to Hudson-Odoi, having a little run at Townsend, edge of the area. Hudson-Odoi gives it back to Sangare. Sangare to the right, Hudson-Odoi, the number 14, running at Townsend, bypasses him. Yates into the centre with a pull back. Town have bodies in the way. Cleared away as far as Hurst, who needs to hold it up, gets it back to Broadhead. Then towards Taylor. Town lose the ball. Forest have it outside the Ipswich area with Hudson-Odoi, slips it to the right in Alanga. He controls it rather than puts it in first time. Hudson-Odoi backheels it to Alanga. Patient work from Forest. Town have got plenty bodies back off to our right. Alanga comes centrally, plays the ball beyond the referee to Murillo. Murillo to Sangare. Lots of possession for Nottingham Forest, moving Ipswich Town side to side. Hudson-Odoi bursts in field. Townsend gets enough on the ball, and then Luongo is tripped. Town got the ball back.
Yeah, talking about partnerships, Hudson-Odoi and Alanga, they're causing a lot of problems down this right hand side, and it's not because we're not defending that great, it's because the quality that they've got, but we've managed to sort it out there. Luongo's just got to go with his runner just before that, Brennan, and it's too easy for him to get in behind. Just a quick 1-2, but yeah, they're good. They look good together, they two.
Kieran McKenna chatting to the fourth official, one certain Tim Robinson, who's not really endeared himself to Ipswich Town fans this season for his performances, in particular against Leicester, but also recently against Spurs. He's the man in between Nuno Espirito Santo and Kieran McKenna. Free kick for that foul on Luongo, which Palmer's going to take from out of his area. Headed in field by Hurst. Danilo picks out Aina near side, still 10 yards short of halfway, tries to play it down the line towards Hudson-Odoi, blocked off by Townsend. It's interesting how often Alanga and Hudson-Odoi find themselves on the same wing. Alanga's floating centrally at the moment. Tends to be him that comes across to this right-hand side. Hudson-Odoi's been pretty much an orthodox right winger in this first half. Alanga with a dummy, gets it to Hudson-Odoi. Yates on the ball on the right-hand side. Hudson-Odoi picks out the ball back to Alanga, wide right. In comes his cross to the far stick. Chested down when Johnson missed it. Danilo shoots! Blocked away by Wolfenden. Good play from Wolfenden getting behind that one. Not sure whether Palmer was going to save that. Wolfie did the right thing. But again, it was Hudson-Odoi and Alanga, that link-up, which cut through Ipswich Town. That does cause them problems. Flags up against Forest. Referee spotted it. Free kick, Ipswich Town.
Yeah, Broadhead and Alanga, Broadhead and Luongo, they need to go with runners. I mean, he's just ran off Broadhead there. He's got to go with him. He can't be left. It's got too much quality to leave them with that time on the ball.
I think Palmer would have made the save behind Wolfenden. Just looking back at it, as Ipswich Town have the ball inside their half of the field. What have we played? 36 minutes. Burgess, long downfield. Johnson's going to battle with Moreno, the number 19 and right back. Johnson's kept the ball in, has he? Yes, he has. Brilliant play from Johnson. In comes low from Taylor. He made a mess of that cross there. Terrific persistent work from Ben Johnson. Now Forest on the counter-attack. Alanga running forward, trying to get Awani in behind. He can't. Wolfenden ended up on the deck, but he did enough to take Awani out of the game, and the ball's back in the hands of Alex Palmer. Out towards Morsey. Space is opening up. Morsey gets it comfortably to Taylor on halfway. Seen very little of Jack Taylor in this game. Johnson wants it, gets it, gives it back to Morsey. Morsey guides off the outside of his right boot to Luongo, back to Burgess. Burgess left-footed towards Hurst. Murato is there. Aina, poor touch from Aina. Hurst might get on the ball. No, Murillo gets on it for Forest. Gives it to Danilo. Back to Murillo. Danilo over the top, but wasted. Poor from Nottingham Forest. Few fans groaning as well, frustrated by their team.
And the longer it goes, the more they will as well, which is what Ipswich Town have done their job.
Town have got to capitalise. We're still waiting for the first goal of this game. 8 minutes to go until half-time. The final tie of the round as well. All 8 quarter-finalists will be inked in after this match. Nice 1-2 between Taylor and Johnson. Taylor keeps the ball in just far side, but only for Murillo to bring it away, then roll it under the studs of his left boot. Always seems to have time on his side, Murillo.
Good play that, just the final ball again into the box.
Aina to Yates. Yates goes back in field. Joined the academy 20 years ago now. Ryan Yates closing in on 200 league appearances. Headed down by Twanzebe. Morsey almost caught on the ball. Awani picks it up for Forest to the right hand side. Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi one-on-one with Townsend, gets inside the Ipswich Town area. He's still got it. Hudson-Odoi gives it back to Sangaria, who hits it up and it loops wide.
Yeah, they can keep doing that for me. They not look like scoring with their long shots, but you never know. One of them might just nestle in the top corner. Remember that McGuigan goal we saw? Was it McGuigan?
Yeah, Lewis McGuigan scored here.
What a goal that was!
Ridiculous. One of the best goals I've seen in an Ipswich Town game, and one of the many times we've been here without seeing Ipswich Town victorious. I've never seen Town win here. This incidentally is the 5th FA Cup meeting. Town have lost the last two 3-0 here in 89 and at 97. Town knocked them out of this competition after a replay in that 1981. That game, the first game here, finished 3-3. 44 years ago. Burgess is uncomfortable at the moment. Yeah, Jacob Greaves is out near side. That was my immediate thought, to look for the former Hull man, and he is warming up. Burgess is really struggling. Aina down this near side to Sangari. In goes Townsend. Out goes the ball. Throw into Forest. Oh, he's not comfortable at all, Burgess.
That'd be a shame if he had to come off, to be fair.
It would be, wouldn't it? Aina with this throw for Forest. 5.5 minutes to go until half-time. He surely can't continue like this for another 5.5 minutes plus. Burgess. Decision will have to be made before then, unless he recovers significantly. because he's playing on one leg at the moment almost.
What was it? I never saw anything.
No, I didn't either. Hudson-Odoi running down the right-hand side towards Alanga. In goes Townsend. Good sliding challenge, applauded by the Town fans. Corner kick number 4 to the home team.
Yeah, and this is where they're dangerous, Brenner. They've got a couple of good balls in, haven't they?
Well, yeah, exactly. And Town haven't got one of their best headers of a ball fully fit. He's nowhere near Cameron Burgess. Jacob Greaves continues to stretch and limber up. Let's hope it doesn't cost Ipswich Town. Corner kick to Forest, their 4th of this FA Cup tie. It's Alanga, who's been a danger from open play when he's been on the ball. What can he do from this set piece? Right-footed, puts it deep beyond the far post. Will be recycled by Moreno, the left back. Looks up, knocks it back in, the Spaniard. Headed away onto the chest of Broadhead, who then puts his right foot through the ball, but flags up against Nottingham Forest. Free kick to Alex Palmer.
We'll take that. I think it must be a kick, or he's gone over it and something, but he is limping really badly, isn't he?
Yeah, Kieran McKenna looking at him. I don't know. I was just about to say they've got to make a decision on him.
He might have a stone in his shoe.
He's struggling really badly, isn't he?
He's doing his best to run it off, to walk it off, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But all eyes on him. He's got the ball, Burgess, on the edge of the Ipswich area. Goes back to Palmer. Palmer out to Wolfenden. Sharp intake of breath from Alex. Cleared by Wolfenden, but only onto the chest of Murillo. Murillo with a little clever flick round the corner, blocked off by Morsey. Broadhead controls it well, running forward. Broadhead to the far side. He's got support from Johnson if he needs it. Broadhead's held on to the ball, eventually taken off of him. But sadly, the last touch came off Broadhead.
Yeah, he was unlucky there.
And it was good to see. See Morgan Gibbs-White and Nico Williams, Chris Wood on this near side, the Forest subs, all 3 of them first choice. They'll be playing against Manchester City this coming weekend. It's an interesting game in the battle for a Champions League finish. Forest City. Here is Sangare losing the ball to Johnson. Well done, Ben Johnson, to Broadhead. This might be a chance for Town. Broadhead outside the area. Still lots of work to do as the red shirts come back. Broadhead gets it back to Morsey. Morsey turns really well against Sangare. On the right now it's Taylor. Thought about the first time cross. Gives it towards Johnson and the byline. Johnson gets it into Murillo. Murillo, poor clearance out to Taylor. Taylor's cross gets more centrally this time. Headed away by Muratu, stooping. Decent bit of pressure from Ipswich. Luongo goes back to Twanzebe. There is Morsey. Johnson's doing a good job for Town on the far side. Burgess, hopefully a bit more mobile. Connor Townsend. Infield to Broadhead. He's seen a bit more of it recently. Burgess infield to Morsey in the centre circle. Can't go back to Wolfenden. Spins. In the battle of the 2 captains. Gets the better of Yates. Wolfenden goes back to Morsey. Final 2.5 minutes of this first half. Now it's with Burgess coming forward with the ball to Luongo. Poor layoff from Luongo, straight to Aina, who finds Sangare. Now it's back to right back for Forest. Aina flicks it up towards Awani. His header goes behind Burgess. Burgess gets back on it and passes it back towards Palmer, but misses him. It's a gift-wrapped corner kick for Forest.
That was down his ankle, that, yeah. Brenner. It was. He was off balance and he couldn't put his full weight in it. When you see it, he's really off balance. He's twisted, turned, and it was his ankle that's made him do that. He's unlucky there.
Struggling still, Burgess. Starting to think he'd maybe run off that injury, but seeing him now puffing out his cheeks, he's not comfortable. Forest trying to score before half-time. 90 seconds of the first period to go, 0-0 in this FA Cup tie. Once again it's Alanga with an outswinger from the right side, and it comes low, sliced out of play for a throw-in this time off of George Hurst's clearance.
Yeah, it'd be good to hold on to half-time, Brenner. Maybe get Burgess in, get some treatment on him, maybe.
It would be. Aina is coming forward to take this throw-in. Very little in the way of quality in this first half. It hasn't been a classic between these two sides who hoovered up sizable honours late 70s, early 80s under Robson and Clough. Here comes Aina with this throw into the Ipswich Town area, headed away by Burgess, out as far as Hudson-Odoi, 30 yards from goal, drives forward. Town get a toe in, cleared by Twanzebe, out as far as Murillo. Murillo plays the ball out to the right, looking for Alanga, headed down and out for a throw by Townsend. Good defending from him yet again. Aina with a short throw. Hudson-Odoi cushions it back to Aina. Hudson-Odoi on the ball for Forest. To fellow danger man Alanga. Both of them near side yet again. Back it goes to Murata. The board is primed to tell us how much added on time there's going to be. Loose pass from Murata. Instep Broadhead. And the ball's out of play. Thankfully, just 1 minute. It's not one of those games you want to see an extra 3, 4, 5 minutes of. It has to be said. Here is Aina onto the chest of Danilo. Lovely skill. Pops it over the top of Morsey. Forest trying to get a goal in this first half. Too heavy a pass forward to Alanga. Seen out behind by Townsend.
Yeah, good defend. They defended very well, Brenner, to be fair. We've had a few little scary bits we try to play out for the back and stuff, but all in all, they have defended very well, Burgess and Wolfen and Twanzebe and Townsend as well. We just got to go with runners in the midfield for me.
10 hour away to the team currently third in the Premier League. We must remember that. Albeit much changed lineup, but then so too have Ipswich Town. In fact, Town have made 8 changes compared to the 6 of Forest. Wolfenden going direct towards Hurst, but it skims away from him. He's not had a touch of the ball. Aside from that clearance a few moments ago, Hurst not in an attacking area for a little while. And that brings to an end rather underwhelming first half between these two sides in this FA Cup 5th round tie. 0-0 between Nottingham Forest and Ipswich Town, Alex Matthew.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be happy. Gone in there 0-0, clean sheet. That's what you want with some of the goals we've conceded of late. But I think where we've lacked it is probably the final ball into the box and the final pass, the final cross. Morsey Luongo been guilty of giving the ball away. Hurst not really got a hold of it, but saying that, it is a tough ask up there all by yourself when you've got four at the back. Forest players. I think Johnson's done alright out in the right hand side. I think he gives it a job. Taylor needs to do a bit more for me in the midfield. In fact, the three in midfield need to all do a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, he'll be happy with that 0-0.
Who stood out for you for Town, do you think? Townsend can cross the ball, can't he? And he always looks good for Ipswich Town whenever he plays Connor Townsend for me. When you get the ball to him, he's put some decent crosses in the last third. He's probably been the only one that's really put any decent crosses into the box, and he looks more of a threat going forward. I think Johnson's done well, and Twanzebe, I think they've both done well. They've defended well, but Johnson's done well going forward as well. I think they've done well. Taylor, as I say, needs to do a bit more. The captain's getting on the ball. Loads of time on the ball. He's got loads of time. It's whether he can pick that final pass up to open up the Forest defence. We need to get more support up to see Hurst to help Hurst. I think Broadhead needs to get up a little bit quicker to support Hurst, and Hurst needs to try and make it stick. But as I say, that is a tough ask up there. Full second half commentary to come, and what might come beyond that. Remember, this one has to be settled on the night, so we could see extra time and penalties. Wouldn't be a big surprise based on what we've seen before. It's very, very tight, this FA Cup tie. At the moment, it's Nottingham Forest 0, Ipswich Town 0.
Your thoughts on that first half, welcome. If you want to drop us a text or a WhatsApp message, it's 81333, the text number, 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with the SFK. And as Brenner says, we'll be back with the second half in a few minutes' time. Match night on air till 10:30 tonight.
Wayne Babin at breakfast.
There's been a 10% year-on-year increase in fly tipping.
It was clearly all waste from some sort of eatery or takeaway place. So I sort of started looking on menus online. I said enough is enough.
My husband, when we had little people, he was brilliant at replacing swear words. So he used to say, "Oh, bubble nuggets." And I think it came from SpongeBob.
Tell us about your most rarest Pokemon card.
Probably the most valuable one I've got right now is between £20,000 to £30,000.
How much did you pay for it?
Oh, that would be telling.
Come on.
Wayne Babin at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
Half time in our main feature at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0, Ipswich Town 0 in the FA Cup 5th round. Second half on the way in a few minutes' time. Earlier in the programme, we heard from both Fabian Hertzler and Eddie Howe after Brighton's 2-1 win at Newcastle in the FA Cup yesterday, along with Marco Silva after his Fulham side knocked Manchester United out of the Cup on penalties at Old Trafford. Speaking after the game, United legend Wayne Rooney said it was naive for manager Ruben Amorim to say United's goal is to win the Premier League, given their current situation?
The issue maybe of looking too far ahead is what we're seeing over the last 10, 15 years is managers are not getting that time.
No.
So you have to be a little bit selfish as a manager and say, OK, if I don't do it now, then I might not get that time. And maybe, I think that is a little bit naive to say we're looking to win the Premier League, because from where they are now, they're a long way off that.
Wayne Rooney speaking about Ruben Amorim yesterday, and this was the United manager's response.
That is the goal. Naive is to think that we are going to do this season or the best contender for the next season. So I know that in this moment everybody knows everything. I was a pundit when I finished my career, so I know it's really easy. Our goal is to win the Premier League. Maybe it's not with me, but our goal as a club, the board, is winning the Premier League like we did in the past with all the great glories and the legends of this club. And we want to do better, and we know that we are in the difficult moment, and I'm not naive. That's why I'm here coaching at 40 years old, the Manchester United.
Also yesterday was the first league defeat of the season for Ipswich Town women. They lost 1-0 away at promotion rivals #United. A scrappy game took place at the home of Canvey Island Football Club and was settled by a strike from range by the home side in the second half, which leaves the Tractor Girls 6 points behind the Essex outfit and second in the National League Premier Division. Town do have 3 games in hand over #, so promotion remains in their hands with 7 games to go in total. Manager Joe Sheehan to come, but first let's hear from midfielder and vice-captain Kyra Robertson speaking with Connor Bennett at full-time after a frustrating result.
Yeah, an unfortunate result for us. I think we tried to give it our all for the full 90, and it was one that popped out edge of the box, and she took it well. It's a disappointing result for us.
It was a frustrating game to watch, and it didn't seem to be much football played. A bit of a fight out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, the games are always the same against them. They don't really look to play, just win the physical battle. And I think we done that as well, and we done it well. It was just that one moment where she took her chance, but we pick ourselves up again. There's more games in the league, and we go again.
Maybe it adds to the frustration that there was a couple of chances that might have gone your way another day. How are you and the girls feeling? I know you've had your huddle. It's probably important to not feel too down given the context of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I think we had our chances, and in games like this you probably do need to take them, because it is the small margins that will win you the games when they're so tight. But like I say, we'll regroup. We've got, I think, 7 games left, and it's definitely not done for us. We'll come back fighting, and we'll show that we're all together, and we'll keep pushing.
I mean, it's the first league defeat of the season, which just goes to show what an outstanding season it's been, and there's still so much to play for. Yeah,
I think that's why it's such a tough one to take. Obviously the first defeat, but I don't think we can look into that too much and dwell on it. We've earned the right to win games on other days, and here I think, like I say, it was one moment, and we can't dwell on it too much.
It's also really tough when a player like Boz, she's been stretched off. That's not something we're all used to seeing, and no one likes to see, so it's tough to play on after that as well.
Yeah, I think an awkward landing for her, and obviously we'll wish her all the best and hope for the best, but potentially prepare for the worst. But she's probably gone to hospital. We'll see what it says, and we won't look into it too much right now.
And a quick word for the travelling support. Loads of people down here in Essex today. Obviously not the result anyone would have wanted, but great support nonetheless, and still loads to play for.
Yeah, we can't fault the fans. They travel everywhere across the country for us, and they always turn up, and we really heard them today, and it was really nice. We felt like the home side in some sense. I just ask them to keep supporting us and keep behind us until the end of the season. It's a tough league, we know this. We've been here multiple times before, and we know what it takes to get out of this division. So we'll keep working hard, take each day as it comes, not get too high, and definitely not get too low after this, and just keep preparing each week and going into each game as it's just one in a long season, and hopefully the outcome ends up going our way.
Ipswich Town women's midfielder Kyra Robertson with Connor Bennett at full time after their 1-0 defeat at #United yesterday. Let's hear from manager Joe Sheehan off the back of, as we've said, only the Tractor Girls' first league loss all season.
Yeah, I think obviously the manner of it coming about is difficult. Obviously, scrappy game, late goal, chances few and far between. So not the result obviously we wanted. Came here to try and win the game, and obviously to be on the wrong end of the scoreline is disappointing. But we'll pick ourselves back up and prepare for a new week.
A couple of things to pick up on what you said there. First of all, scrappy. That is one of the scrappiest games I've ever seen. You know, we're stood here on this pitch in Canvey Island, and it's, you know, seen better days is probably an understatement, but it played into their hands, and the ball was in the air 90% of it, which is not your way of playing. But your team showed a lot of fight today.
Yeah, we have played this team enough to know the kind of game you have to prepare to be involved in, and not only have we encountered it on many occasions, Newcastle last year and Nottingham Forest only a few weeks ago. We were both two really well-equipped teams, struggled to play against #, and it's not a game where you can get the ball down and play, and not just because of what they're like as a team, but also, you know, we're standing on the pitch now, and it's such a difficult surface to play on, and it really suits the hosts, which makes it a little bit more of a leveller. So we're prepared to be in a game all week that was going to be scrappy, transitional, physical, direct, and hope that we could score on the odd counter or from a set play. And we wasn't able to do that, and obviously conceded at the other end.
To pick up on a game of a few chances, is there a slight regret? You know, there was a couple of clear-cut chances that might have fallen in on another day.
Yeah, I think we probably had 3. I think 2 certainly in the first half, and Tash raced through early on in the second half that we thought, you know, would be a really good chance. Those chances you have to take, because you're not going to put together a good sequence of play, passes of 7, 8, 9 connections to get through on their goal. It's always scrappy, like we said, particularly on the surface. Wasn't able to capitalise on them chances that we did create, and wasn't able to stop them.
It is frustrating, you know, watching on when there's a team that quite clearly come to play a specific way. You know, we know how physical they are, and one thing I would say is that on a day like today, your team have really stood up to the fight and matched them physically. I think despite the result, there's a lot of maturity in this side now, and really matching the physical aspect of their game.
Yeah, I think we battled well. I think there are so many parts of these type of games that we have to improve, which is difficult because, you know, the bits that we didn't necessarily get right consistently were clearances, were good contact on headers, were picking up loose balls and winning those kind of duels, and they're things we are working on. We want to be a better team that defends direct play better. We want to be a team that can attack direct play better, but doesn't always come natural to us based on the game we play. But yeah, we felt we were quite pleased in how we battled and how we competed against a team that are like that consistently. And again, it was always going to be settled maybe by a fine margin, and we're on the wrong end of it.
What did you say to the girls in the team huddle? Because I think it's really important to stress the perspective. That's the first league defeat of the season, and we're in March. I mean, that speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we said that. I thought about all week that nothing was going to be confirmed today. The outcome of the season wasn't determined by today. It was just another game to try and pick up points. Obviously, we'd have loved to have won, and it would have given us another step closer to the end goal. But equally, if we don't pick up the result, we still have 7 games, and we will all be really disappointed by today. But we have to pick ourselves up for next week and prepare to try and pick up 3 more points next week, and the remaining games after that.
What is the message to the girls today after a real fight, but ultimately not coming away with the result? A lot of the hard work has been done already. It's been a fantastic season so far. Have you stressed that to the girls?
Not in those words, but at the end of the game there's lots of emotion, and the opposition are celebrating beating us, and we just have to stay in our own lane, really, keep our focus, accept that we were beaten and what might come with hearing things about us having been beaten, and just stick together and just reflect really well, as we always try and do, and as I say, prepare back in on Tuesday to try and put together a good week of work that can help us try and beat next Sunday's opponents.
Yeah, Wimbledon next week, that's going to be a good opportunity to bounce back. How important it would be to make this a blip and get over it quickly?
Yeah, if we want to achieve something, then we have to ensure that it's only a blip and we respond really well to it. But yeah, possibility of now being without Boz would be quite damaging to us, who's played such an important role for us. And hopefully that she won't be in too much pain the rest of the day, or it's not something too serious, but obviously it didn't look great at the time, which probably knocked our stuffing a little bit. I think when you have injuries like that in game, it can sort of throw you for the next spell. So we hope, she's not going to be too serious, but we shall see. And we'll have to bounce back, sit together, and then prepare well for next week.
Ipswich Town women's manager Joe Sheehan with Connor Bennett for BBC Suffolk Sports. So Plough Lane next weekend for the Tractor Girls to take on AFC Wimbledon. Let's look forward to them hopefully bouncing back. And like we say, 6 points behind in second place, but 3 games in hand still on the leaders. #United hoping that injury to Maria Boswell isn't too serious as well. All the best to her. Right, and our main feature this evening, Ipswich Town are goalless away at Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. The second half is next.
My dad only ever spoke with his father once.
He promised that he would hear from him, and he never did. Never.
On his deathbed, my mum and I made him a promise. We were going to find his family. The search takes us on an incredible journey from the English seaside to the shores of Aotearoa, New Zealand. From court cases in my pyjamas.
The matter before the court is Ansell versus Anderson.
To extraordinary coincidences and the ridiculous amount of DNA I've had to get.
That's a match.
To finally solve my family mystery. From DNA Trail, The Promise. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Just gone 8:30 with Match Night on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. We're on air till 10:30. We will have extra time and penalties if they are needed. As things stand, they would be. Let's rejoin our commentary team at the City Ground. Alex Matthew and first Brenna Woolley. Looks like we're going to get a couple of Ipswich Sound changes, Brenna.
Yeah, Twanzebe and Burgess. No surprise whatsoever that Burgess has gone off at half-time. And on come O'Shea and Greaves for the start of the second half. So Burgess, obviously an injury. Hopefully that's not too bad. That was after a coming together with our knee in the first half. And hopefully Twanzebe has just been rested. Because, of course, Twanzebe was one of the survivors from Old Trafford. Hopefully that's just with Crystal Palace in mind. It was something that was thought about ahead of the game, that O'Shea was always going to replace Twanzebe at half-time. So Town have got Palmer in goal, and it's O'Shea, Wolfenden, Greaves, Townsend, Morsey, Luongo, Johnson, Taylor, Broadhead and Hurst. On the bench, Murrich, Davis, Kayuste, Philogene, Clark, Delap and the youngster Tommy Taylor. When there's a break and play, the second half just underway, I'll give you the Forest team, which is as it was at the start of this 7:30 kickoff. FA Cup 5th round weekend, the final game of the last 16 stage of this competition. Still no nearer to finding out which one of these teams is going to join Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Preston, Bournemouth, Manchester City, Brighton and Fulham in the latter stages of the competition. Forest in red, white, red have the ball on the edge of their area off to our right. So Ipswich Town in blue, white, blue, playing from left to right and attacking the end, populated by another healthy number of travelling tractor boys and girls. Forest with Aina, the right back, on the far side of the field. Not too many chances for either side really in that first half. The one that really stood out was Sangari's header, given away by Forest, straight to Luongo on halfway. Here is Broadhead. He's bundled to the fore, still looking for his first goal of the season, Nathan Broadhead. Morsey is over this free kick for Ipswich. Back to Greaves, his first touch. Town look as if they're still playing the same system as they did in that first half. At the back, Morsey has the ball with Greaves on the far side. The left back, Townsend, up to halfway. The layoff from Hurst. Back to Broadhead. Broadhead plays it back to Hurst, but behind him, Forest regroup and get the ball back to Selt. Danilo overhead, only to Luongo. Morsey measures a pass to the right hand side, and Johnson coming forward for Ipswich Town to the right hand side, and Taylor, little shimmy, gets to the byline, back to Johnson. In comes his early cross, glancing header. It was from Broadhead, didn't get enough on that. That was a good cross in from Johnson.
Yeah, it was just a little bit behind him. I don't think he got any contact whatsoever on it, but good play though. First bit of attacking play from Taylor. Better.
Looks like a knee problem for Burgess, as the ball's out far side, according to a text I just got from the club. No word on that. Axel Twanzebe though.
You'd have thought I thought it was his ankle the way he was limping, but obviously knee.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Here is Johnson driving forward for Ipswich Town, slightly off balance. He took a nudge from a Forest player. That should have been a free kick. Not spotted at all by the referee. Morsey's back on the ball, round the corner to Broadhead. Might fancy a go into the box towards hers, blocked off by Aina. Nodded forward by Luongo. A little bit more pace about Ipswich Town's threat there, looked a little bit more lively, but Forest are able to clear out on the far side.
A little bit more positive, I would have thought, Brenner there. We're getting the ball in behind them, which is good to see.
Morsey to the centre of the field, and Wolfenden. I think Johnson's done more than all right on this right hand side. He's on the ball now, Johnson. Little touch round the corner, he's done well. Finds Taylor, enjoying himself, Ben Johnson tonight. Here is that Murillo. Just glides across the grass, won the ball, then plays it over the top towards Hudson-Odoi. Good flick header by Townsend. Straight to Luongo as things look to open up. Luongo gets to halfway, then goes square to Broadhead. Now it's Morsey. Looking more and more like it might just be the one goal that settles this game. Greaves up to Luongo. Whether we get that in 90 minutes or beyond, time will tell. Greaves measures a pass to O'Shea near side. O'Shea between the lines to Taylor. Terrible touch from Taylor. Danilo wins it, but Johnson gets it back for Ipswich Town. More good work from Ben Johnson. Johnson's run a distance, edge of the area, gets to the D, blocked off out as far as Luongo. Town having a little spell. Taylor wants it on the right hand side, gets it from Morsey. Taylor one-on-one with Moreno, comes in field, gives it back to Morsey. This is decent from Town, zipping the ball around. Nuno looks towards his bench, tells Gibbs-White to go out for a run in the stretch. Townsend comes in from the far side, still got up to Connor Townsend. Aina gets it away from him though to Hudson-Odoi, now going through the gears, opens his legs far side, running in field. Great run this from Hudson-Odoi. He's gone a long way, goes square to the edge of the area. Alanga, saved by Palmer. Good stop down to his right hand side. Alanga's got the ball back. What a run that was from Hudson-Odoi. Here is Alanga on the left hand side in the second phase of the attack, gets to the byline, clips it in, headed away by Wolfenden, missed by Johnson in terms of the attempted volley. Moreno into the box, pulls it back. Sangare into the area, well done Greaves. This is pressure on the Ipswich Town area. All of a sudden it's Hudson-Odoi threads the ball through a gap, but it's blocked off by Johnson. And now O'Shea clears. A bit better that to watch from both teams, really. Hurst's header goes down to Danilo. Danilo stumbles, but still finds a red shirt.
It's a great save from the goalkeeper as well, wasn't it? Because it was down low, and he's managed to push it away. But good play from Hudson-Odoi. Such a threat going forward. Him and Alanga.
He's very lively. Here is Murillo to Moreno. Back to Murillo. Infield, Sangare for Nottingham Forest. 0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. Danilo, the bleached blonde hair, right-footed towards the top corner. Palmer was well positioned, nonchalantly caught it and patted it down almost in one motion, but it was heading in, that one from Danilo, but Palmer got a good view of it.
I think that's what we're missing tonight, Brenner. Somebody that's driving with the ball at pace. We've not really got anything like that in the team tonight. You're missing O'Mara to run with it.
Palmer, touch wood as I say, just in case, but continues to look the part. Very calm influence at the back for Ipswich Town, makes good saves. Palmer to Morsey. Morsey evades the challenge of Yates. Well done by the captain. Up towards Broadhead, back to Luongo. Both sides playing a bit better. It's a better spectacle at the moment, a bit more zip about this game. Neither of these teams had a league games at the weekend, want to play 2 hours tonight. They want to get it done inside 90 if they can possibly help it. Broadhead to Johnson. Johnson with a big switch across the field to Townsend. Lovely ball. Nice take from Townsend up against Aina. In comes his early cross, blocked off by Aina's outstretched left leg.
Yeah, both full-backs doing well tonight for me, Brenner. Townsend and Johnson both done very well.
Throw in down the left outside the Forest area. Townsend's on the ball for Ipswich, gets it back from Luongo, sets himself, in comes his cross to Johnson, headed away well by Moreno. Missed effort from Broadhead, pretty much an air shot as he tried to smack it in from 18 yards. Town rebuild with Morsey. Certainly got the ability and the technique to hit that ball well and score from there, Broadhead, but sadly got it terribly wrong on this occasion. Greaves to Morsey. Morsey changes direction, has a go. Oh, what a shot that was from Morsey. That was heading into the top corner. Well saved by Seltz. That was some strike from the captain.
It really was. It was a fantastic strike, and I think it was going in the top left corner as well. A good turn, and he's just stepped away from him, and he's fully 35 yards out there. It's a great strike. Great strike.
Some goal from Morsey. Good save from Seltz, who's having a very good season. Corner kick to Ipswich Town in front of their fans off to our right. Still 0-0 in this FA Cup tie. Johnson loops it to the far stick. It's headed down and in! George Hurst celebrates the breakthrough goal! Ipswich Town lead this FA Cup 5th round tie by 1-0.
Great header, great ball in, and you can just see it, and he's on his own at the back post. He's just peeled away, and he's just kept his eye on the ball, and he's just headed it towards goal. Yeah, and they've deserved that the way they've started the second half. That's a great header from Hurst.
Well, Town get a reward from that fabulous hit from Morsey. Hurst on the score sheet in front of the watching Scotland manager Steve Clarke, and the grin on his face is a joy to behold. And also the scenes amongst those Town fans, he got an excellent view of it, and he was able to celebrate right in front of them. Nottingham Forest 0, Ipswich Town 1.
I'm pleased for him because he's not had much to celebrate in the first half. He's not had much service. It's the first chance he's had, and it's just at the back post, and he's just kept his eye on it, headed it down. Goalkeeper no chance.
Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what he's done. He saw it coming all the way across the field, nodded down, and Ipswich Town have the 1-goal advantage. Danilo goes square to Morato. Now Aina. Wonder how long it's going to be before Wood and Gibbs White and co join the fray. Wouldn't have thought he'd leave it too long. Nuno Espirito Santo.
I think we've just got to keep it tight for the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Exactly what I was thinking. Here come Forest. Moreno. Good challenge from Wolfenden against Moreno. Wolfenden then clears the ball up towards Taylor, takes it on his right thigh, spins infield, gives it to Broadhead. Lovely play, excellent play from Taylor. Broadhead's on his bike, tries to give it back to Taylor. In goes Morato, gets a bit of ball, bit of Taylor. Taylor's writhing in agony. Wolfenden's gone towards the referee, so too Hurst. Taylor looks to be in a bit of pain. Yellow card for Morato. Town fans wanted the other card to come out, but on first inspection I'd say the referee got that right. Of course we do have VAR now at this stage of the FA Cup. Taylor's still on the deck.
Yeah, initially I didn't think there was much in it. I thought he just went over him, but he might have caught him with his foot, his trailing foot. We'll see a little bit of a close-up now. Not much in that for me.
No, I mean his studs were showing the way he got the ball, but it wasn't dangerous, it wasn't out of control. I don't see how Taylor was quite as hurt as he is, but he's obviously not the sort of character to milk it. He's still struggling a bit, Taylor, but certainly nowhere in this world was it a red card from the referee, so he was right to not do what the Town fans wanted.
Yeah, I think he actually caught with his legs went through the middle of Taylor. I don't think he actually maybe caught him, but
Johnson, who's got an assist in this game, has had a good game. He and Townsend over this free kick, 35 yards from goal. Town lead Forest 1-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. In comes the high free kick from Johnson beyond the far stick, recycled, headed into the middle by Taylor, away from Forest. Again Taylor wins the header. Forest can't clear their lines. The referee's blown his whistle for a free kick. I think it's Yates has taken a smack to the head. Free kick to Forest as Jack Clarke is sent out for a run, so too Philogene and Cayuste. Here come the cavalry for Forest, exactly as predicted. Gibbs White is 100% about to come on, and is the other player Chris Wood? No, it's Elliot Anderson, former Newcastle player. He's had a very, very good season for Forest. An attack-minded midfielder, Anderson, cost 35 million last summer. And Gibbs White is going to come on at last as far as Thomas Tuchel is concerned. But as far as George Hurst and Scotland are concerned, nice for him to get a goal in front of Steve Clarke, Alex, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, because he's not as much to work with today. And to get his goal, we'll be delighted with that.
Kick out to the far side, ball off the top of Aina's head into the crowd. Gibbs White is a lovely footballer, though. And he's been a terrific signing for Forest. Club captain, the former Wolves man, but just been at 5 goals this season. Was part of that England under-17 team that won their respective World Cup 8 years ago now. Hurst battling, and he's deserved that goal. Hurst hasn't had much to feed on in this game. Such a difficult role that he's had to fulfil.
Elliot Anderson's had a great season, you're just saying, Brennan, as well. He's really got his full potential with coming to Forest, getting that chance to play every week that he wasn't getting at Newcastle.
Didn't want to sell him, Eddie Howe, but had to because of PSR rules, and he's really kicked on. He was a Scotland, sort of in and around the Scotland under-21 setup, but now very much committed to playing for England, and he's going to get a chance to impress the England manager, who of course must name his first squad in the non-too-distant future. Alanga down the right-hand side for Forest, trailing 1-0, gets it back from Moreno. Alanga making inroads to the Ipswich Town area. Cross comes O'Shea. Out the ball goes for a throw-in. This result means a heck of a lot to Ipswich Town. You could see from the way they celebrated that goal, they were absolutely desperate to reach an FA Cup quarter-final.
And it just gives them that confidence as well, Brennan, that they can beat teams like this.
Yeah, totally. This team that they will face again in the league a week on Saturday. Forest come to Portman Road after the trip to Crystal Palace this coming week for Town. Danilo goes off to be replaced by Anderson. So that gives a bit of energy in there. And the other changes are Sangare. He's been replaced by Gibbs White. So these two changes, with all due respect to Danilo and Sangare, are going to make Forest an awful lot stronger. And we've still got 31 minutes at least of this game to go. Moreno with a throw-in for Forest. George Hurst with the only goals so far in this FA Cup 5th round tie. Moreno arcs his back and loops the ball to the near stick, headed away by Wolfenden. Up goes Taylor, he nods it out of the Ipswich area fully as far as Hudson-Odoi. It goes back to Aina. The winner of this tie go to Brighton in the next round. Yates. That's the weekend, around about the 29th of this month, I believe, after the international break. Forest with Aina running square, knocking it forward, flick on header from Alanga, out behind, goal kick to Palmer. Still no Chris Wood just yet for Forest.
Great skill that from Aina there.
Sorry?
Great skill from Aina there. That came off.
Yeah, the little Rabona knock forward. Greaves takes this goal kick short back to Palmer, edge of his 6-yard area. Palmer out short to Luongo. Back the ball goes to Greaves. Greaves finding Townsend, who stretched but kept it in. The TV camera's now on Thomas Tuchel. No doubt just because of those two Forest changes coming on. Here is one of them on the ball. Anderson. The ball goes up. Forest trying to get towards the edge of the Ipswich area at least. Greaves stretches out his left leg and boots the ball to halfway. Hurst can't get a hold of it. Gibbs White through the little gap. In goes Luongo. Good strong challenge. Thankfully he got the ball. Whoa, I wonder if that's making Kieran McKenna think about maybe it's time to make a change in midfield. He does not want to go down to 10 men. I was just about to say how well Luongo's done to keep his nose clean since that early yellow, as Greaves' header goes back to Palmer. Thought he'd slightly mistimed that challenge, the Australian. Thankfully nothing came of it. Morsey floats the ball to Townsend. He can run into open grass. Down the left-hand side, Broadhead in some space in the right-back area outside the Forest area, trying to play into the path of Townsend, who'd made a good run. But it was read and intercepted there by Morato. It's a Forest free kick eventually.
Yeah, disappointing from Broadhead. He's better than that. He really is. He's got to be finding somebody. He's got acres of space.
Good run from Townsend, wasn't it?
It was, and it wasn't the ball. It's a dummy run from Townsend.
Now Calvin Phillips, Connor Chaplin or Sam Smoddock's on the bench for Ipswich Town tonight. I guess not a massive surprise that Phillips isn't there. I thought Chaplin might have got some minutes at some point tonight because he's been back in training, and if I remember and if I get the chance to ask the question, I'll ask Kieran McKenna post-match about Sam Smoddock's. Hopefully that's not an issue with him. Tommy Taylor is on the bench. The 19-year-old just got out for a run in front of us as the ball goes out of play directly in front of Kieran McKenna with his bright white trainers on. Looks like a new pair. thrown forward and then headed down and out by Gibbs White under pressure from O'Shea.
I'd be interested to see if you could bring Leif Davis on along with Townsend out in that left-hand side to give us that balance, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Davis is on the bench. He's not always been on the bench for cup games when he's been rested. He does tend to get rested, but he is there tonight. Moreno plays the ball back to Murata, who finds Seltz. Unlike Palmer, he has been beaten in this game. Greaves with a strong header forward. Hurst several yards offside as the ball goes back to Mats Seltz. It's almost a year since he arrived at Nottingham Forest, when he was seen pretty much, just over a year, when he's seen pretty much as sort of a backup goalkeeper, but justifiably been very much their first choice this season. Forest with Yates, gets it to the left hand side, and Murillo to halfway, tired looking ball. Morsey intercepted easily, couldn't do anything with it. He's had a play for a throw as Kieran McKenna applauds his captain. Still only 18.5 gone in this second half. Long old way to go in this tie. Town that do have the lead on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. Hudson-Odoi skipping infield, goes square to Gibbs White. He pushes it up to Awani. Back it goes to Gibbs White on the far side of the field. Gibbs White's cross into the area, it goes into the palms of Alex Palmer. Well done. Oh, he'd love his first clean sheet for Town tonight.
Yeah, definitely. He's done well tonight. He's had a few stops he's had to make.
Yep, he has.
He's kept us in the game at times.
He just looks the pass.
He does. I like him.
Here is Palmer belting the ball up to halfway. What's Broadhead's first touch like? Under pressure, not the best. Difficult ball to deal with. Those really fizzed at him, sort of shin pad height. Gibbs White on the right hand side for Forest. He's going to be a danger man for the remainder of the game. He gives it infield to Yates. Yates to the right hand side. Hudson-Odoi looking along the edge of the Ipswich Town 18-yard box. Forest looking for an equaliser. Anderson gives it to Aina on the right hand side. Hudson-Odoi, first time pull back to Anderson, edge of the area. The substitute sets himself, fires off an Ipswich Town player. Second corner of the half to Forest.
Yeah, again, Anderson-Odoi getting involved. Yeah, they really have got so much going forward, Forest, haven't they? I mean, they bring Chris Wood in the next 10-15 minutes, I would have thought, just to finish him off.
The City ground gets right behind Nottingham Forest in their search for an equaliser. Corner kick which Hudson-Odoi is going to take. The referee wants to sort something in there first of all. Luongo's complaining about something in the area. He wants a little word with Murato. He's been marked by O'Shea. Alanga on this latest corner kick for Nottingham Forest. They trail 1-0, headed away by Morsey in front of the near post. Town bringing on Kiyuste and Jack Clark to freshen things up. Ball out to the right hand side. I would imagine that'll be Luongo and maybe Broadhead or Taylor Broadhead possibly. Let's see anyway.
It could be either or, to be fair. I mean, both of them not really done themselves justice tonight. I've seen them better.
No, I agree.
I'm a big fan of Broadhead, but tonight's not been his night.
There's the change. Luongo is coming off. Sensible one. Putting another good shift for the team. Quite rightly will always be seen as a hero amongst Ipswich Town fans. Standing ovation for the Australian. As Clark, I thought was one of Town's better players at Old Trafford last week. Got goals in the last 2 rounds, Jack Clark, and he is replacing Broadhead. So trying to score in 3 successive rounds of the FA Cup, the former Sunderland player. He pats palms with Luongo as he comes by, even though it's Broadhead who he's waiting for to replace.
Yeah, I think Kayusti's a sensible one. It really is. Gives us some legs in that midfield that they can keep up with Gibbs White in that.
So just one more change available to Town during the 90 minutes. If it were to go beyond, they'd get a bonus 6th substitution available to them. As Chris Wood, all 18 goals of him, one of them against Town already this season, is primed and ready for action. What a purple period he's had this season, Wood. Absolutely phenomenal what Nuno Espirito Santo's got out of the very experienced New Zealander. Played for 12 English clubs down the years. It was 15 million well spent when they signed him from Newcastle United after a loan.
I know, he's had an unbelievable season, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's going to be a big danger in the remainder of this match. Free kick to Forest, far side. Alanga over this one. They're attacking the goal off to our left. Town have all the blue shirts back on the edge of Palmer's area. In it's fired from Alanga, headed away out as far as Anderson. Anderson recycles back to the right, and Alanga shaped to cross. Eventually does get it in. Left-footed, they're queuing up. Yates heads it in. Both goals from headers. Hurst has just been cancelled out by the experienced Forest captain, and with a quarter of the 90 minutes to go, it's game on. It's Forest 1, Town 1.
Yeah, it's a soft goal for me. It's a good ball in, but it's a soft header in the mid 6-yard box he's scoring. Oh, I think we've got to defend better there, I really do. They'll be disappointed with that one. They really will, because they've defended the initial first header and then the second ones came in. I'm just looking at it now. It's a great ball in. It's well on. Johnson playing him on.
Comfortably onside,
yeah,
no quibble over it. And then when the ball hit his forehead, 100% it was going in the back of the net. He was never going to miss from there. Nothing Palmer could do about it. So back to 1-1, or back to all square in this game. Kayuste to Clark. Those two have yet to really get involved in this game. As the ball goes back to Palmer. Wood has sat back down on the Forest bench. Palmer got his clearance away. Aina headed it. Now it's with Elliot Anderson. Wood's time will come, but for the moment not required. Hudson-Odoi down the left-hand side. Wind in the sails of Nottingham Forest. Still got it Hudson-Odoi on his right foot. Infield to Gibbs-White. It's looking a lot more like their Premier League team. Oh, a lovely pass from Hudson-Odoi. Looked one way, played it the other. And then Johnson got himself out of a pickle, but he's back in another one. Anderson, wide left, outside the Ipswich area. Infield to Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White into the box. From Moreno, blocked off and out. Corner kick. Nope. It's come off the Forest player last. Goal kick to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure after the goal coming on the Ipswich Town back four. Just need to take a little breath, regroup and start again, because we've done alright the second half. Really has been the better side for until they made the changes.
Some serious talent out there for Forest, even without Wood, who's disappeared from view. 25 minutes played in the second half. Hurst and Yates with the goals. Here is Kayuste going back towards Greaves. Has been a weakness for Ipswich Town defending balls into the box of late, it has to be said, whether from open play or set pieces. Got to improve on that. Greaves back to Palmer. Palmer slices his clearance, chested by O'Shea, kept in play. O'Shea goes centrally to Kayuste, puffs out his cheeks as he takes the ball in his chest. He's got space in front of him, plays the ball to the left, and Townsend, in goes Aina, sliding to the deck. Was always going to win that ball, but Town have a throw in just inside Forest's half of the field.
Yeah, it wasn't the best ball with Greaves back to the goalkeeper, was it?
No.
It was bobbling and everything.
Wolfenden to the right, finding Johnson. Johnson gives it to Taylor. Taylor blocked off by Hudson-Odoi. Johnson does enough to distract Moreno. Taylor down the right hand side, early ball into the box, looks a good one. It's headed away from goal by Hurst. He was unlucky, nipping in towards the near corner of the 6-yard area. Got something on it, but couldn't glance it goalwards.
Yeah, got a lucky break, and it's fairly Taylor, and it's a good ball in. It's just a little dink, and he's unlucky. Hurst just had to try and keep it down. I think the keeper had it covered.
Yeah, it was better from Taylor. Forest might turn into a proper cup tie now, with a bit more life about it, as these two sides want to go on and get what could be all-important third goal. Anderson at the back for Forest. Right-footed, clears it up to the halfway line. Awani, Wolfenden gets the better of him. Picked up by Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White flying forward, gives it to Alanga inside the area. Back come the blue shirts. Alanga right of centre, can't shoot now. Left-footed, clips it into the middle, headed down and away by O'Shea. That looked worrying. And there is Yates, the goal scorer for Forest. The captain, now Aina. Turns, faces the Ipswich area, little disguise ball, lovely ball. Alanga keeps it in towards Awani, might get a second bite. No, Wolfenden puts his right foot through it, only as far as Anderson on the chest, then bangs it, hits a stanchion behind the goal. Chap in front of me celebrates, but it isn't in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think Aina's got to score for me. I mean, it's a great little play. Oh, it's a little back heel, isn't it? He tried to flick it, maybe that's all he could do really, but a good strike from Anderson, but well off target, thankfully.
Kieran McKenna's thoughts will come later on Match Night on BBC Radio Suffolk. Now we start the build-up to our next programme, Match Day on Saturday, the Match Day preview with John Walk. Graham's on air between 6 and 7 on Friday night, and Match Day Mick Mills will be alongside me at Selhurst Park. That's a 3 o'clock kick-off, so Match Day on air from 2 till 6 on Saturday. And the Blue Hour returns next Monday night. All your thoughts on all things Ipswich Town between 6 and 7 every Monday night during the football season. Hopefully talking about a couple of wins for Town. Clark drifting through midfield, good run, then tries to thread it through to Hurst. Unfortunate, blocked off by Morato. Slotted him fairly well in the place of Milenkovic tonight. Aina having a run forward, skipping in from the right hand side. Across comes Morsey, deflects off him, cleared away by Greaves, only as far as Gibbs White. He spins away from Taylor. Number 10 for Forest goes to Ola Aina on the right hand side now. Elanga, whose cross created the equaliser for Forest. It's 1-1. Back for Gibbs White, knocks the ball up to Aina, back to goal 18 yards out. Forest win it back through Anderson. Town unable to get a hold of the ball. Forest knocking it around. Now it's with Gibbs White to the left hand side, showed a bit too much of it to Johnson, but Moreno did get it on to Hudson-Odoi. He comes in field, Hudson-Odoi, the flick header from Kiyuste goes behind. It's another corner to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, the fans getting behind the Forest team now. The ball into the box, good defender from Kiyuste. There's not a lot he could do there. He's got to put it in.
Corner kick to Nottingham Forest. They've won this competition twice in the past, although the last time was 1959. But their fans will feel third in the Premier League table. They've got a chance this year of going all the way. Still work to be done tonight. Corner kick to Forest. It's 1-1 at the City Ground, and this comes from Elanga, headed up by Murillo inside the area, not away by Ipswich Town. Flick header into the middle, and then it's nodded in.
Offside.
The flag has gone up. Yates went off to celebrate his second headed goal of the evening, but it won't count, and the City Ground is pretty much silenced. We're still 1-1.
Thankfully, there's a good the ball into the box. Again, we look dodgy for throwing from balls into the box, Brenner. The second ball coming in, we're not switching on. We're clearing the first ball, but the second ball coming in, we're switching off.
It's definitely an issue for Ipswich Town this at the moment. Break and play at the moment, just whilst it's being checked, that decision. He did look offside, Yates, and I think he knew pretty much straight away. Yeah, still 1-1. VAR has cleared that one up. The on-field decision was thankfully correct. We've got 15 to go in this game. Greaves round the corner to Morsey. Morsey off the outside of his right foot, puts it back into the Ipswich area to Wolfenden. Wolfenden out to the right hand side, and O'Shea. Elanga closes him down. Ball's out of play off Elanga. Nico Williams hands the ball to Dara O'Shea for this throw-in.
You just feel, Brenner, whoever gets this next goal, if they do get it, goes on to win this tie.
Town got Palace away then at the weekend, Forest at home, then it's away to Bournemouth at the moment. That's the third game coming up. The FA Cup trip to Brighton would be before then. Wide on the left hand side, knocked the ball into the centre off the left foot of Moreno. After Bournemouth, it's Wolves at home. What a game that is. Before Chelsea away and Arsenal at home. That game switched to the Sunday, the Arsenal game. By that stage, TV companies feeling that Liverpool might have a chance of winning the title that day, I guess. Greaves up towards Clark. Clark back to Morsey in the centre circle. Challenged immediately by Elanga. Liam Delap and Jayden Philogene have gone out for a little jog near side. Back the ball goes to O'Shea. Infield to Kiyuste. Heavy touch from Kiyuste. Just gets it away from his fellow countryman Elanga, who then wins it back. Elanga's beating Kiyuste. Anderson running into the Ipswich Town area. Plays a ball into the middle, which he didn't really need to do. Helped Ipswich Town. Taylor gets the ball up in the air. Hurst's going to go after it. Up against Morato. Morato will lean into one another, and the ball is back with Seltz.
He's unlucky there, Hurst, you know. Yeah. 1v1, and it's a ball, and he's just staying on your feet if you can. He's trying to lean into the centre half, which you're supposed to do, but he's just, he's not kept his feet. It's unfortunate that. Could have been a chance.
13 minutes to go. Is there to be a winner in 90? Gibbs White through midfield to Hudson-Odoi. Ina's on his bike in behind. Townsend has to get there first and gets it back to Palmer. Well defended by the left back. Palmer's clearance glides out far side.
It showed a lot of maturity for me, Townsend, in the last few games that he's played.
It's been good all season whenever he's played. Townsend, really like him. As the ball is in the centre of the field with Gibbs White. Very easy on the eye to watch. Anderson back to Gibbs White. Gibbs White up towards our knee, blocked off by Greaves. It's Moreno who picks up the scraps, bundled over by O'Shea, not given by the referee. Morsey loses footing. This one is given for the trip on the town captain. Morsey plays the free kick off Anderson, who hadn't moved far enough away, and Anderson gets a yellow card for that.
Clever from Morsey, really. Really is. He knows he's going to get a yellow card. It's a silly one, but I don't think Anderson should get, because it's Morsey's fault for taking the free kick early, so I don't see why he gets a yellow card.
No,
but that's the rules, Brenner.
I've got a lot of sympathy with Anderson over that one. He didn't really have enough time to get out of it. I don't think he was trying to be clever or obstructive. Morsey just played it against him, and it worked out a treat from a town perspective. Palmer is out of his area, 33.5 gone in the second half. Hurst gave Town the lead. Yates made it 1-1, then had a second goal for himself, ruled out for offside. And that is the state of play, almost heading towards that next goal wins territory. If there is to be one, remember, it would go extra time and penalties. Taylor battling for the ball just inside the Forest box. Now Morsey heads it to the edge of the area. Taylor's header goes up in the air, loaded down by Clark, but only to Gibbs White. Gibbs White being held back by Morsey. Wonder if and when we're going to see Delap. Davis is also out there, so too Tommy Taylor. Moreno gives the ball to Anderson, almost lost his footing, gets it towards Alanga, inslides Johnson, continuing to have a good game, Ben Johnson. Here is Moreno coming in between a couple of challenges, doesn't beat Taylor's. Johnson then finds Morsey, edge of the Ipswich area. Morsey around the corner to Kayuste. Wonder if we'll see his first goal for the club tonight against Kayuste. I think it'll come at some point. Certainly got the ability.
Yeah, he got his cell in some good positions on Saturday, didn't he?
Yeah. Here is O'Shea. Surprised he hasn't scored so far. Palmer just gets the better of Awani. Slips it out to Kayuste, who's got some space to run into. Covers the ground well, trying to get away from Gibbs White. No, couldn't find Hurst with that pass. Giving it to Forrest on the right hand side. Gibbs White towards Awani. 1-on-1 with Wolfenden inside the Ipswich Town area. The number 9 doesn't turn very sharply. Gets it back to Gibbs White. Tries to pick out his spot off the outside of his right boot. Chris Wood is now definitely coming on finally. I think Nico Williams is as well. Forrest on the left with Anderson. The cavalry is just about to come. Yates, Forrest's goal scorer and skipper. The home crowd react to these two potential changes. Moreno for Forrest. Into the final 10 minutes, Gibbs White into the area, brought down by Anderson. Wolfenden gets it away only partially. Gibbs White gets the better of Taylor. Clever play from Gibbs White off the outside of his right boot, gives it to Moreno, gets it back. Gibbs White again trying to pull the strings and orchestrate. Murillo hits left footed. Oh, saved by Palmer. Really good save as well from Palmer, because my goodness me, that was some hit from Murillo.
That was a great strike, wasn't it? And what a save from Palmer. The Brazilian really put some force behind this. 25 yards out, plenty of time. Woof. That's in the top corner, that.
Roberto Carlos like, wasn't it?
What a strike, no backlift whatsoever.
No, it wasn't good enough, hit the ball. Right, Awani is going off. Mr. Matt was happy to see him on the field for as long as possible.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to stay on.
So was I, yeah, but sadly not. He's been no trouble whatsoever to the Town back line, whereas this man, Chris Wood, is almost certain to be problematic. And the other change for Forest sees Moreno go off to be replaced by Nico Williams, who was terrific here, the former Liverpool player. When we were here in November, one of the better players in that rather substandard match.
Yeah, he never gave Amari a kick, did he?
No, he didn't. Came through as a right back, I think, at Liverpool, but he's been playing left back this season, the Welsh international, and played it very well whenever I've seen him. He's a good player. Forest corner. How can Ipswich Town defend this set piece? It's been an Achilles heel of theirs, defending balls into the box. It's pulled back this time by Langer to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi tries to pick out the top corner. Oh, he wasn't a million miles away. That ball hit the top of the crossbar. Another fine hit from a Forest player.
What a strike that is as well. That's nestling. It's just hit the top of the bar. Great strike.
Really was.
Great technique.
Wow. Well, Forest at the moment looking the more likely to score the winning goal. Hopefully that's tempted fate.
We just need one chance, Brenner.
Absolutely.
We've got to take it. One
right,
chance.
They certainly are. And they've got players out there that can hopefully damage Forest, and we might even see Delap at some stage. O'Shea finds Taylor on the right hand side. The goal scorer Hurst holds it up, needs support. Well done. Back it goes to O'Shea. Very little to hit in the centre. Town have worked it patiently. Hurst, edge of the Forest area, goes down, not given by the referee. Williams slides in there, ball out far side for a Forest throw.
Hurst must think what he needs to do to get a foul off this referee. He's not giving them anything.
7 minutes to go in this game. Town still have another change if they want to make it before the full-time whistle, as well as one in extra time. Williams to Gibbs-White, who's seen a lot of the ball. Gibbs-White. Here is Nico Williams playing with gloves on. Switches play to the far side. Hudson-Odoi. Townsend's misjudged that in the air.
No, I think you left it, Brenner. I think you left it.
Out for a throw. It's very, very charitable of you. Far be it from me to be saying anything critical about Connor Townsend. I'm a big fan of his. He's got this throw in on the far side of the field, up towards Hurst, who again is bundled to the ground. And there you go, Alex. He's finally got something from the referee. That's a free kick.
Yeah, definitely needs something. I think if he's going to bring Delap on, I think he's got to do it now, because I don't think he'll want to go extra time, so he might just get you one chance to lap.
Well, he might as well use that substitution, because he's got another one after, if we get that far. Well, Hurst scored in front of Steve Clark. Can Liam Delap score in front of Thomas Tuchel? I take it he's still here, the German. I'd like to think so. Free kick inside the Ipswich half. Palmer takes it out to this near side, the right. O'Shea wins a good header, flicked on by Taylor. Hurst has a chance, might get a second opportunity. Wouldn't sit down for Clark. Clark eventually shoots and misses. That was a chance for Jack Clark. Thomas Tuchel is still here. The TV producer must have heard my questioning as to whether he disappeared off or not.
That was half a chance, that one.
It was half a chance for Hurst before, and then an even better one for Clark. Well, could really have made a name for himself there.
Well done, Wolfie, there against Wood.
Yeah, he's done well. Ball back with Palmer. He's made some good saves. Had a good game so far. Might be needed at the end of extra time, of course, to become an absolute hero for Ipswich Town. Alex Palmer. Quite some story. Aina with the throw. Forest have it on the far side. They're right. Aina goes in field, takes on Clark, beats him, gets to halfway, almost slips and ends up on his backside. Still though has the ball. Here is Gibbs-White, always so bright and inventive, trying to create every time he's on the ball. Seems to be a real talker out there as well, gesturing where he wants players to go. Langer down the left-hand side. Created the Forest equaliser. Town led through Hurst initially. Yates equalised. Forest in red. After 85 and a bit minutes of this game, we're that close to the end. Langer. Infield to Anderson. Langer once again giving it to Gibbs-White, little deft touch, but Kayuste's there rather than Anderson. Kayuste finds Taylor. Taylor slips it forward to Hurst. Hurst's after this ball that Clark toe poked to him. Sadly they couldn't get away, because that could have been really exciting for Ipswich Town's prospects.
Yeah, I just wanted Clark to get a hold of it, and he was in goal, wasn't he? 1v1.
Aina, still plenty energy in those legs of his. Out to the right hand side, and Hudson-Odoi taking on a combination of Clark and Townsend. In comes the low ball. It's off the thigh, I think, of Jacob Greaves. It's the 9th corner of the night for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, again, dangerous balls in. He puts a good ball in it, Langer.
Langer has got the ball. It's gone across the far corner of the ground. Of course, Forest won the league when Ipswich Town won the cup in 1978. It's a rich period in both clubs' histories.
We are going to see Delap coming on, Brenner.
We are indeed. 3 minutes to go at the City Ground. 1-1 in this FA Cup tie. Anthony Elanga with a corner kick for Nottingham Forest, trying to lead for the first time in this game. 2 players down in the area. The referee says play on. He should stop play because he's got to be concerned. Greaves is the man in blue, and difficult to see who the Forest player is. Both physios might be coming on, along with Liam Delap. He is going to get some minutes in the 90.
I think it's Yates that's down for Forest.
And understandably, with it being a head issue, Greaves is sitting up, which is good to see. So too is the Forest player. I think you're right about Yates. Leif Davis is sent out for a little jog on this near side, but he's not going to be coming on until extra time at the earliest. Oh, Greaves' face very bloody, whether that's from his mouth or his nose. That's going to take a little bit of sorting out. Any idea which way this one's going to go, Alex, or are you braced for an extra 30? What's your gut feeling at the moment?
I think it's just extra time. Shut in the face. I think it's extra time.
Been a better second half. It's a spectacle, hasn't it?
It has. The first half was poor, but I think Ipswich Town have done well the second half. They started very well, started bright, got the goal. Forest have made a few changes, came into it. Probably a soft goal we gave away, but they've deserved it for us to get back into the game. They've put a lot of quality balls into the box. Palmer's has a few good saves to make, and he's done them. So yeah, the next goal's a winner for me, even in extra time, Brenner. Whoever scores next wins.
What about the first goal of the night from George Hurst and his contribution to the cause?
I'm pleased for him, I really am, because he's worked really hard. It's a thankless battle up there against four Forest players, because he had no support whatsoever. I got a lot more support in the second half, but when he's got his chance, he's took it, and he's only had the one chance. So yeah, I'll be interested to see if I take it he will be the one that will come off. I can't see him going 2 up front in extra time. I don't think he's that gung-ho, McKenna. I think it'll be a straight swap for Delap. And then hopefully Delap, I'd like to see Delap getting back to basics, getting a hold of the ball, not fighting with people, getting a hold of the ball, running at people, getting all the things that's got him, all these plaudits that he's got, because in the last few games he's not been what we've seen of late when he first came. So I'd like to see a little bit more from him tonight and go on and score a winning goal for us.
Well, you talk about fighting with people. Let's hope he doesn't get his 10th yellow card in the league anytime soon. That would see him serve a 2-match ban, so we'll be hoping he keeps a lid on things on Saturday at Palace and onwards. A yellow card for Morsey for saying too much to the referee. The referee seemed to be having a word with Morgan Gibbs-White and Morsey as the 2 captains. I'm guessing that Morgan Gibbs-White's got the armband since he came on, and well, it's unlike Sam Morsey in that kind of situation to say something out of turn.
I think he might be saying something about the bounce ball and what they're going to do with it.
Bounce ball unchallenged. Gibbs-White scoops it into the area. Williams has a chance. Williams into the middle. No, the referee's blown up. 6 minutes of added on time to be played before, at the moment anyway, we would go into extra time if there are no further goals. Here comes the final Ipswich Town change of the 90. Delap is coming on, one would imagine, for George Hurst. Yep, confirmation, off goes the goal scorer. 4th goal of the season for George tonight. Another good shift. Every single Ipswich Town fan with their hands above their heads off to our right applauding the Scotsman in front of his watching international manager Steve Clarke.
Yeah, deserved his goal. He's worked tirelessly up there.
I don't know what kind of competition he's got. I must admit I don't follow Scottish football overly closely, but of his type, he's got to be in the thinking of Steve Clarke, I would have thought, George Hurst, Alex.
Oh, definitely. He does a good job. He'll score your goals. He runs in behind. He suits everything about the way Scotland play. I don't see why not.
His dad, an England international back in the day, David Hurst. Right, pretty much the start of this added on 6 minutes. Taylor's going to try and get in behind Murillo. Murillo has to do some defending. As far as Delap goes down edge of the area. Nothing given by the referee. Cleared away by the left back of Forest, or at least Anderson, who was playing at left back there. Yates up towards Gibbs-White through the legs of the referee in centre field. Aina on the far side of the pitch. Infield to Hudson-Odoi. Forest trying to get this game finished before the requirement for extra time. Aina by the byline outside the Ipswich area, pulls the ball back to Hudson-Odoi. Infield it goes to Gibbs-White. We don't want to see him on the ball too much. Aina on the right hand side comes infield, not overly confident on his left boot, eventually does curl the ball in beyond the far stick with a bit of communication from O'Shea. Johnson let that one go, and it's a goal kick to Alex Palmer.
Yeah, good defending there from O'Shea, good talking to his fullback. Now for the first time a wasted ball from Forrest into the box.
Town fans in fine voice trying to rally their team. There's a fair number of these players that are out on the field now will be starting at Selhurst Park on Saturday. Palmer, O'Shea, Greaves, Morsey probably, Delap certainly. Cleared forward by Palmer. Start again with a spring in their step if they've knocked Nottingham Forest out of the FA Cup a few days earlier. And lined up that trip to Brighton. Alanga infield to Wood to Yates out to the right hand side. Has that got too much on it even for the speed merchant that is Hudson-Odoi? And the answer's in the positive, yes it has.
I think you're probably right, Brennan. I think you've called it. You called it at the start of the game. I think you fancied it could go all the way, didn't you?
I thought it was likely, just based on what we saw here a few months ago. Certainly are they going to go into extra time, all being very tight, even if there is a winner. I did think it was a draw, a 1-0 or a 2-1, something like that was going to be the score tonight. Forest, the 3 previous times that Town have been here in this competition, have scored 3 goals on every occasion. It's never really looked like being the case. Seltz gets an awkward ball to deal with, lumps it forward. Aina doesn't do too much with it. Cayu stays battling, but he's outnumbered. Hudson-Odoi comes away with the ball into the centre, and Anderson to Murillo. His first touch takes it over halfway, then finds Gibbs-White. This is promising from Forest. So much attacking talent and creative talent on the pitch now for them. Trying to be over elaborate, Gibbs-White headed away there well by Town. Johnson can't get on the ball. Murillo, who had that stinging effort a few moments ago, gives it to Yates. Delap's all over him. Of course, had a spell at Derby early on in his career. Liam Delap. Such a fierce rivalry between the two clubs at either end of Brian Clough Way, which joins the two cities up here in the East Midlands. Free kick to Forest, around about like 34 yards from goal.
Oh,
the crowd want Murillo to do a Lewis McGugan, don't they?
Yeah. And Roberto Carlos.
Yeah. It's the one at the Tonwa, wasn't it, that beat Barthez, that incredible bending one which swerved so much from Roberto Carlos back in the day.
Let's hope not.
Free kick to Nottingham Forest, 35 yards from goals, dinked in by Murillo beyond the far stick, twisting his neck to head it away square is Townsend. Throw to Forest, which Morato had a forceful game at centre half. Hudson-Odoi with a throw in for Forest. We're into the 6th minute of the added on 6. I think we'll go beyond that though. We're certainly at next goal wins territory in this FA Cup tie. I doubt there'd be any time for either of these two sides to come back from going 2-1 down. Aina throws a high ball into the Ipswich area. Palmer's missed it. Wolfenden's put it up in the air. And then it's controlled by Williams on the left for Forest. Forest still in a threatening position. Gibbs-White down the left, edge of the area now Alanga. Alanga's cross comes into the middle. After the first bounce it should be comfortable for Palmer, and it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Palmer with a quick throw up towards, well, it was Elliot Anderson rather than Liam Delap. Anderson's caught late by Clark. He's stayed down in a bit of pain. Elliot Anderson. Free kick to Forest, nothing other than that. Yates is complaining to the referee about the challenge by Clark. And there is the full-time whistle. This FA Cup 5th round tie, the last one of the weekend, is going to extra time, 15 minutes each way, when perhaps, not guaranteed, at the end of which we'll find out which one of these two sides is going on to face Brighton away in the quarter-finals. If we're all square after the half hour, then Ipswich Town will be involved in their first ever penalty shootout in the FA Cup. How are you feeling about things now, Alex Matthew?
Yeah, I still think it could go either way. I mean, it depends who wants it more, who can put that little bit quality. Both teams got probably near enough full strength now, so they're both going to go for it. Whether or not they've got the legs to do it, they might be. I mean, Ipswich Town probably try and play them on the counter-attack, try and get in the behind for Delap, Wade and Jack Clark. But I think Forest are going to the fans that want them to get at Ipswich Town, and that's going to leave spaces for Clark to run at people and for Delap as well. So hopefully we can sneak one. If not penalties, well, it's a lottery after that, isn't it?
Quite often they aren't great spectacles, these half hours, because rather than teams wanting to go on and win the game in extra time, there's that kind of fear of losing. As Sam Morsey's still talking to the referee, all very calm, and typical Sam. Martin Pertz also made his feelings known. Not quite sure where that came from. Wolfenden is back with us. He disappeared down the tunnel very briefly as Kieran McKenna has a team talk just on the pitch down below us. Of course, Town did have a penalty shootout, if we get that far, earlier on this season, going out of the Carabao Cup at Wimbledon, which went straight to penalties, I think, that game, whereas in the FA Cup we still have this extra 30 minutes. It's interesting, we obviously can't hear what Kieran's saying, but just seeing how animated he is with his players down there. Delap could be a key man, though. Alex, I talked a lot on commentary about the quality that Forest brought off the bench, which they certainly did, but Ipswich Town also brought their own gem off the away bench, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think Delap could be have a big say in this, the last 30 minutes, as of maybe Leif Davis as well. He could have a big say in it as well. It's where you fit him, but as I say, you can only make one more sub, so you've got to keep it in reserve just in case somebody gets cramp or gets a bit of an injury. So I think it'll be a last minute if he is used. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's down to who wants it the most, who could put that little bit quality in, who could put that final cross in, and who could put that finish in. And if you going in the balance they play in the last 20 minutes, you would probably say Forest look the more likely to score. But Town have had the odd chance as well that they could maybe sneak one.
I'm talking about putting final balls into the box. That's become a little bit of an issue for Town, hasn't it? Defending them recently. We saw a little bit. I mean, there was quality from Fernandez last Wednesday, but they've not looked comfortable now for a few games, really.
No, I don't know if they're picking spaces up or they're picking men up, or they can go in and protect that space, or they can actually go and pick a man up. But it's the second ball, they're switching off, defending the initial first ball into the box, but the second one, when it comes back out to a Forest player and the second ball coming in, we're getting caught flat-footed, we're not picking up the men. A little bit of movement's distracting us, and that's happened a few times, and a few of the goals we've lost as well. We don't seem to be picking up a lot.
Well, Brighton still don't know who is going to be visiting the Amex in a few weeks from now. 7 teams already through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Who will be the 8th? We're still no closer to finding out. We've got an extra 30 minutes to come live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds of Nottingham Forest versus Ipswich Town. It was Hurst with the opening goal of the game, and then around 14 minutes later Yates headed home to leave the final score after 90. 1-1 as Town are going to be playing in blue, white, blue from right to left, as they did in the first half, away from their fans towards Nottingham Forest in their red, white and red. We'll have another little burst of Mull of Kintyre before we get underway for the first period of added on time. Let's hope Thomas Tuchel's still here watching Liam Delap, hopefully watching Liam Delap get a winning goal for Ipswich Town. Really atmospheric, this ground, proper football stadium, as the two sides will meet at again a week on Saturday. No further changes since we last saw the ball roll. Referee Mr. Harrington still having a chat with Sam Morsey about something or other, as Jack Taylor it is who's going to get the ball rolling once again. And quite why he's taken such a long time. Maybe waiting for a signal from TV. Something to do with the fourth official down below. Finally, play back underway. Long kick downfield. Another hour of our matchday programme to go, so we'll certainly see out this game, however long it goes, and then try our best to get some Kieran McKenna on air before 10:30. As Wolfenden, up with both feet off the air, hits the ball high over the halfway line. Delap gets his first touch of extra time. Taylor brings it down as O'Shea then knocks it up off Murillo. Through to Ipswich Town outside the Nottingham Forest penalty area. It's going to be Kiyuste who takes this. In theory, the long throw expert. Yet to see one of them create a goal so far. Now would be a pretty good time to break your duck, Jens. He's got the ball in his right hand initially, high above his head. Forward he comes forward 2 or 3 yards, diagonal run up, and it comes looping, headed up by Anderson, not too far away, nodded down to the D. Delap can recycle, he turns well, tries to prod it through a gap. Taylor inside the D, Taylor shoots, pings off a player, Morsey lifts it out intelligently to the left. Aina slices attempted clearance, Clark goes after this. Aina, the ball almost went out, not quite. Aina's clearance under pressure from Clark, who did well, wins Ipswich Town a throw in outside the Forest area. So Kieran McKenna doing some one-to-one tuition with Jack Clark after he'd had his group huddle team talk. He's got a lot more space for a run-up on this side, Kiyuste. He's paced back a good 7 yards. Forward comes the Swede, in comes his long throw into the Forest area, headed down by Greaves, belted away by Gibbs White. Had that been a blue shirt, that would have been a very presentable opportunity. Here is Luke Wolfenden out to the right hand side, and O'Shea knocks it into the Forest box. Greaves is still up there, headed down, cleared. Town win it back. Kiyuste. Town having a little spell at the moment. Got to score when they're on top. Morsey to Townsend. Townsend shapes a cross in, comes off Yates. Out for a throw, which Kiyuste can take again. They've pegged Forest back.
Yeah, good start from the first bit of extra time. They started the way they started the second half. It's right on the front foot, pushing Forest back. 3 throw-ins now, and that was unlucky, the last one. It just didn't fall to a blue player.
Kiyuste by the TV camera off to our left. Another long run up and a long throw looping into the Forest area, headed away by Yates, nodded up by Townsend to the D. Clash of heads involving O'Shea. He's going to carry on like nothing happened. Morsey lifts it into the area, headed away by Williams. Clark can't get anything on the ball. Morsey gets the better of Gibbs White. Here is Clark. Forest win the ball through Wood. Wood lifts it to the right, and Hudson-Odoi on the halfway line. Pretty cool customer, Nuno Espirito Santo, his long knee-length blue hooded coat on, arms folded. What a job he's done here after a tricky spell at Tottenham. Did a very good job at Wolves, the former goalkeeper. Wood, who of course had a Town loan spell nearly 10 years ago now from Leicester. Chris Wood back in the day. Anderson knocks the ball into no man's land.
Yeah, it disappointed me a little bit, Santos, when they played against Newcastle. He didn't shake Eddie Howe's hand after the game, which was a bit disappointed in him in that.
I noticed that. Yeah, I was out of character. I spotted that at the end of the match as well. Kiyuste back to Greaves. Greaves lifts it to Palmer. Has to head it out of his area. Back to Greaves. Well done by the goalkeeper. Greaves down the line to Townsend. Town have worked the ball beyond the Forest press pretty well. Kiyuste darts through a gap between 2 players. Then his pass is intercepted, but he's got it back. Unorthodox but effective. Kiyuste finds Clark running at the Forest back line. Ball in field to Morsey. Sets himself inside the D. Shoots. Oh, not far away at all from Morsey. Seemed to curl off the outside of his right boot, but just not enough.
I thought he was better to hit it the first time, Brenner.
I thought so.
Do you know what I mean? But he's managed to do it again and take the man in. How far, he's outside the right boot. I think the keeper might have had it covered, but it wasn't far away, was it?
No, not at all.
Good play.
Really good play from Ipswich Town. We're right in this extra time period, growing in confidence as well, because they know the Forest big guns are out there. One of them is on the ball. Gibbs White running forward into the area. Alanga scoops it up and over. That was nothing whatsoever from the flying Swede. Oh yeah, it was very close from Morsey. Just seen another replay of that. Bit of a wry smile on his face. Kieran McKenna telling his players something or other off to our right hand side. There is Wolfenden inside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Gives it to Kiyuste. Wolfenden gets it back. 5 minutes into the added 30. Jacob Greaves up towards Clark on the halfway line inside the centre circle, trying to get away from Yates, who clipped him from behind. Is going to get a yellow card for that. Ryan Yates.
Yeah, definitely a yellow. we were talking about before the game, Brenna. I mean, Ipswich Town, they're down the bottom of the league, but when you look at Southampton and Leicester, they're always in the game. Ipswich, they always had a go. They're unlucky. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if they've been absolutely outplayed in the games they've been beaten. The odd one, but apart from that, they've done themselves proud this season.
They
for
look
me,
a heck of a lot better than Leicester at the moment. I think points-wise, I think they're both still on the same 17 points. Town seem to have been on 16 or 17 points forever, but I agree completely. What I've seen in Leicester recently, goodness me, they're in a right old pickle. I think it's 11 defeats and 12 for the Foxes at the moment. Morsey with a switch of play to Johnson, brings it down against Williams. That should be a decent battle. He's done well, Johnson, and that advanced roll down the right hand side, given away by Forrest. Taylor, early ball into the box from the right hand side, comes out of the area to Townsend, takes it on his chest, cushions it forward to Clark. The Forrest subs appealed for an offside. Flag hasn't gone up far side. Clark still on the ball for Ipswich. Back it goes to Greaves. Infield to Morsey, 1-1 in extra time. Morsey over the top into the box. Big climb from Murillo onto the chest of Delap. Delap sets himself into the box for Johnson. Delap's taken out. Good refereeing, played the advantage. Johnson to the byline now. The referee says free kick. A really hefty challenge on Liam Delap, and this set piece is in a good position for Town to have a real crack.
Yeah, good play from Delap. That's what he's got in his locker. And he's done well, because normally we'd let fly with that, but he's done well, and he made him make the foul. He said, go ahead, kick me. And this is in a great position, this. It really is.
Few players fancy it.
Townsend fancies it. Yeah. He does. Look really at the young lad, brilliant. He says, I'm having this.
It's his side as well. It certainly suits the left foot.
Go on,
Townsend.
son.
It's going to be Taylor or Townsend.
Oh, what a moment this would be.
Forrest's wall is in line with the penalty spot off to our left-hand side. Town have a free kick around about 21 yards from goal, right of centre, trying to take the lead for the second time in this FA Cup 5th round tie in extra time. It's Connor Townsend who shoots straight at Sells in the middle of his goal. Bypassed the wall, but didn't hit the back of the net, sadly.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of the FA Cup memories there, Brenner.
It would have been a nice time to score his first goal for Ipswich Town. As it is, play continues, still 1-1 between these two Premier League rivals. Town doing well in this added period, but Forest still have this enormous threat. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds afterwards. You're listening to full match commentary. Overhit by quite some distance from Murillo over the top of Alanga, who gentlemanly applauds the apologetic Murillo.
It's not like him, is it?
No, real surprise. Not ideal for either of these two teams, given the fixtures on the horizon at the weekend. Forest trying to finish in the Champions League spot. Ipswich, of course, still battling for survival. Delap on the decks, giving the ball away to Alanga. Gibbs White running forward. Woods in the middle. Gibbs White inside the Ipswich Town area. Good block. Back came the blue shirts effectively.
Yeah, great initial defender from Greaves. He's ran. He says, I'm going to go with the runner. I'm not going to let him keep running. Waiting in his centre half coming across. Wilfie comes across really well and closes him down. Good defending from the two of them.
Ola Aina with a throw in for Nottingham Forest. Off to our right. 10 minutes in to extra time at the City ground. Still 1-1 as Aina hurls the ball flat into the box off to our right. Really good throw out as far as Anderson sets himself. Jack Clark robs him. Well done, Clark, and he's trying to poke it around Murillo. Murillo got there just a smidgen ahead of the Town winger and gets the ball back to Seltz. They're more dangerous, the Aina throws, than the Kiyuste ones, just they're flatter. As Williams has the ball, Alex.
Clark did well there, closed his man down, buying some time for his team to get organised again.
On the halfway line, Yates, the man whose goal took this game beyond the 90th minute. Pretty much exactly 10 minutes of the first half of extra time have gone. As I said earlier on, Town have never had a penalty shootout in the FA Cup. There have been numerous other competitions down the years. Seen a few in recent years in the Trophy and League Cup. Here comes Hudson-Odoi running in field, still sprightly. Anderson, the substitute, out to the left for Forest. Williams' right-footed cross looks a decent one. Headed up by Townsend, not too far away. Needs some help from Clark. Clark gets the ball out of the area. but still in red possession. Yates gives it back to Aina. Available close to him with the black headband on is Alanga. Quickly back in field to Gibbs-White. In comes his early cross. Header from Wood, which is wide. It would have taken something to score from 15 yards with that kind of header beyond Alex Palmer, but he wasn't that far off target.
No, he got on. He managed to direct a header, doesn't he? But he never got it on target. But yeah, I don't think he's going to beat Palmer from there.
11 gone in extra time. Still 1-1 between these two sides. Leif Davis out warming up near side, most likely to be the sixth and final change. Conor Townsend struggling at the moment. It's nothing other than cramp. I think Kieran McKenna makes a note, and that would be the last change Town could make, as Palmer hits the ball forward. Is he going to be Ipswich Town's hero? Wolfenden with a header to Morsey. Morsey turns it on, blocked off by Murillo. Obviously 2 very close 90 minutes between these two sides this season. Not expecting anything different at Portman Road a week on Saturday. Down before that, full match commentary from Selhurst Park. McMills alongside me this coming weekend. Alanga almost loses the ball. Delap battling with Yates. The tough boy Yates. Alanga to Gibbs-White. Forest have worked this very well on halfway. Gibbs-White up to Hudson-Odoi. The ball slightly behind him. Hudson-Odoi still has it. Fires from outside the area. Again, bodies in the way. Good defending from the away team. Here is Murillo to the left-hand side, and Williams will want to cross on his right foot if he possibly can. In it comes from his right boot. Diving to head away Wolfenden as far as Hudson-Odoi. His shot wasn't far away. Palmer flying across to his left-hand side.
Yeah, it was a good effort, wasn't it? I don't know how close it is, but it looked close from where we are, Brenner.
It did. Seemed to meet it well.
Taylor looks very leggy. I don't know if... but there's a few tired legs out there now.
There are, aren't there?
To be expected.
Yeah, players that aren't used to playing week in, week out in the league. Even then, it's tough enough. But when you're somebody like Townsend or Taylor, or even Ben Johnson of late, tiredness is setting in. Clark up against Murata. No prizes for guessing who won the header on halfway. Here is Aina with the ball down the line. 2 minutes of the first half of extra time to play. Gibbs-White with a switch of play, looking at Hudson-Odoi in behind. O'Shea had to watch that ball flight. It was moving considerably. O'Shea did well enough in the end, did all he could. That was concede a 10th Forest corner kick.
Yeah, that's all he could do, really. It was a good ball from Hudson-Odoi. Gibbs-White to Hudson-Odoi. But yeah, nothing else you could do there. We've just got to defend this now.
Yeah, that's a concern for Ipswich Town, defending these kind of situations. It's another big test, this, for Ipswich. Defending the goal off to our right, in front of thousands of supporters, desperate for a place in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Alanga with this corner kick for Nottingham Forest. One hand in the air, that's the signal. In it swings to the far stick and out the far side. Goal kick Palmer.
That'll do nicely. Thank you very much. Put it out. Move on.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 minute of the first half of extra time to play. Well, it's going to be drama in some way, shape or form in the remainder of this game, whether it's a goal in extra time or whether we have the dreaded spot kicks. It would be Forest's second shootout in a row, having narrowly got past Exeter by that method at the last stage. Header on from Clark to Delap. Kiyuste. There's Aina. Back it goes to Celts. This, of course, is good news for Oliver Glasner and Pep Guardiola watching this game, as their next opponents are still slugging it out way beyond the 100th minute. Wood with a layoff, looking for Hudson-Odoi. In goes Townsend. Morsey blocks off Yates, wins the battle of the two skippers. Taylor goes down on one knee, can't find Johnson. Gibbs-White finds Williams, fresh as a daisy far side. He's got the pace and power to get beyond Johnson. Williams still has the ball. Infield it goes to Gibbs-White. Has to go from 30 yards. Was always rising, never on target. Goal kick to Palmer. No added on time at the end of the first 15, Alex. We're 15 minutes away, 15 goalless minutes away from a penalty shootout. What have you made of the last quarter of an hour there?
I think they've gave as good as Forest have.
Yep.
I think they've done well, started well the first 6 minutes really well. Could have maybe nicked one. But they've given as good as you got. And they're still in this game, Brenna. Well in this game. You still go either way. A lot of tired legs out there. Taylor looks a little bit tired. I don't know if Townsend's struggling still, but Taylor definitely in that midfield. And I'm just looking at Ben Johnson trying to get back there as well. He was tired. He's done some runs today, but yeah. They're doing really well at Ipswich Town. They really are.
And beyond the obvious, Delap, who we're looking at for potential match winners, we need a big 15 from Clark and Kayuste, maybe, do you think?
Yeah, a little bit of a mismatch there sometimes when the ball's getting kicked up and Clark's up against the centre half. So we really want Delap up there and Clark feeding off Delap. But yeah, we could do with Clark getting on the ball and running at them, really stretching this back forward, because they'll have tired legs as well. And Clark's got that ability to drift by players, and he's gained confidence, because I thought he had one of his better games against Man United the other night. I thought that was one of his better games, so his confidence could be quite high to go and have a go.
But in general, Ipswich Town's confidence as a team, they're going toe-to-toe away at a team third in the Premier League. Whatever happens in the next 15 minutes and beyond, they've got to take a lot from this, a little bit like they did at Villa Park. They've got to use this as a springboard on Saturday, haven't they, the way they've taken on and played Forest?
They haven't. They've been doing that all season, Brenna, but they've just been giving away silly goals, silly mistakes, individual errors they've been giving away a lot this season. As I say, I don't think they've been outplayed that many games. Maybe 15-20 minutes they lose concentration, but they've always been in the games, like I was saying earlier. So I think they've got to be proud of themselves so far. And whatever happens tonight, they've done very, very well. If they don't win it in extra time, go to penalties, anything can happen, Brenna.
Well, if it does go that far, chance for Alex Palmer to become an even bigger hero. I mean, he's an immensely popular figure amongst Ipswich Town supporters, the January acquisition from West Brom. But he can really make a name for himself if we get that far. There's some good stops in this game. It's a good match. Selt's a very good goalkeeper as well. As this 15 progresses, players will start to think about penalties, won't they? That will be in their minds. It's bound to. It's only natural, one would have thought.
Yeah, nobody wants to lose in extra time. No. There's nothing worse getting losing extra time, Brenna. I'd rather go to penalties and get beat.
Play underway. Gibbs White to Hudson-Odoi, blocked off far side. Out it goes. Jota Silva is about to come on, the Jack Grealish lookalike of Nottingham Forest. They've shown their hand first in extra time. Forest fans trying to rouse a chorus of Mull of Kintyre. Alanga down the left-hand side trying to take on Johnson. Johnson stays with him. Johnson's done well. Out of play for a goal kick. Good play. Ben Johnson again gets a pat of palms from Dara O'Shea, and deservedly so.
Yeah, well done the referee there as well. He's not got much wrong tonight. A couple of things rehearsed. I think he maybe gave fouls, but he's been consistent, Brenner. That's all I can say about him. He's been the same with Nottingham Forest as he has been with Town.
Greaves to Palmer. A minute gone. It's almost going to be like that, counting down minute by minute through this entire 15. In the second half of extra time, Clark with a glancing header on. Still 1-1 between these two sides. Hurst and Yates inside the first 70 minutes of this extended FA Cup 5th round tie. Brighton away awaits the winners. Back to the halfway line, and Morato, maybe a lot that Kieran McKenna will have been pleased with in his side's performance. Still work to be done though. Williams running forward, coming in field, the number 7, the left back. Gibbs White, heavy touch, manages to maintain possession. Alanga's cross into the Ipswich area. Classic ball looking for Wood, but Greaves did well, headed away by him. Obviously stopped bleeding Jacob Greaves from that knock to his face earlier on. Anderson out to the left hand side, and Alanga's had a very, very good season. Infield to Gibbs White. Liam Delap still to get a sight of goal. One might be all that's required. Alanga coming in field, plays the ball around the back to Williams. Williams into the centre with a ball that goes right through the 6-yard area, out the far side for an Ipswich Town through, and that was a let-off for the Blues.
Yeah, great ball from Gibbs White again. Was it Alanga that's played? Alanga has played him in, and what a ball in from Nico Williams. Just waiting for somebody to tap in. Maybe a little bit, if it fall, a little bit too much pace on it. Thankfully.
Ball through on the far side by Ipswich Town. Forest get it back with Hudson-Odoi, wide right outside the Town box. Clark's there, Townsend. Aina is who hangs the cross into the middle, headed away by Wolfenden. As far as Yates. Yates under pressure from Morsey, gets it out to Aina. Aina swings a tempting ball in, good header away from Greaves. Nodded on by Clark, appeals for handball against Aina. Clearly on his chest though. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. 1-1 between Nottingham Forest and Ipswich Town. Hudson-Odoi having a run at Clark, twisting and turning, then playing his ball, attempting for the box, blocked off by Townsend. Up towards Delap, might have to go it alone. He's got the confidence to do it. He skipped away from Murata. Liam Delap's on his own off to our right-hand side, inside the area, edge of the box. He goes down. What's the referee going to do here? Taylor's furious. Kieran McKenna can't believe it's not a free kick, at least to his side. Wow, what a moment that was. Anyway, play continues. Forest on the counter-attack. Delap having a whinge with Murata. We've got little TV screens in front of us here. The referee was adamant though, and Delap's been told to get up to his feet. He's got a grin on his face.
I think he's definitely caught him. I mean, I can't believe that's not been given. He's not given a lot, the ref.
Not so sure. Lee Grant talking to the fourth official. Play continues. I thought he had a real chance to go through and score. They still had work to do, Delap, but given away by Palmer, blocked off by Greaves. Thank heavens for that. That could have been a fatal error from Alex Palmer, a real rarity. Well, I know he said that at half-time. What we don't want is for somebody to be the villain. If you lose to a really good bit of football, what we don't want somebody to do is to become the fall guy out there, and the winning goal come from an error, and that nearly gave Forest a really good chance, that rare mistake from Palmer. Jota still prepares to come on. Yates to Aina. Aina's cross comes into the Ipswich Town area, headed away well by O'Shea. Both he and Greaves have been strong aerially when they've needed to be the last few moments.
I mean, going back to that Delap chance, I mean, that's what we expect from him. 1v1, that's the kind of things he can do.
Aina, wide right outside the Ipswich area, attempts a cross, comes off the backside of Clark. 5 minutes played in the second half of extra time. 10 to go. Here comes the change for Forest. It's Alanga who is going off to be replaced by Jota Silva, Portuguese in his first season.
I'm not being funny, I'm glad he's going off, Renner. I think he's had a fantastic game, Alanga. I really do.
That's one eye on Saturday. Don't want to say that because Jota will probably come on and score the winner now, but Alanga has done very, very well. Here comes Jota. I think Wikipedia still has his middle name as Grealish, which it quite clearly isn't. But I can see the comparisons with the Manchester City man that he might be facing this weekend. So that's why Alanga's been rested, I guess. Aina with a dodgy looking throw. Gibbs-White gives it back to Aina. In comes the cross from Anderson inside the Ipswich Town area. Jota gets his first touch. Morsey gets it up to Clark. Clark has to hold on to the ball, which he's managed to do so far. Needs some support. Surrounded by 3 red shirts. Taylor appeals for a foul not given. Forest Raw's going to come away with that ball. Gibbs-White back to Aina, 1-1, live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. Gibbs-White cuts in field. Little ball into the box around the corner from Anderson, cleared away by Townsend. Which one of these sides is going to go through to the FA Cup quarter-finals? Our penalty is going to be required. Murillo to Aina. Both sides will feel that they can go on and win this game. At the moment, Forest with lots of possession. Aina dives into a challenge. Ball just kept in play as Townsend battles for it. Goes down under a nudge from Jota. Ipswich Town ball far side. Bit of a rueful glance towards his bench by Nuno Espirito Santo.
He's had a really good game, Connor Townsend. He really has. He really has, the lad.
It's getting tougher to pick in terms of left back for league games. I totally understand the argument for him playing more league football. I think it's just the chances that Leif Davis creates in a side that doesn't score enough goals that probably nudges him ahead. There's very little between the two of them. You've seen that replay. Arm tucked in tight to his body, Townsend. It would have been a free kick rather than a penalty anyway. Long clout forward from Palmer, headed away by Murillo, nodded down by Morsey. Yates is on the ball, he might lose it, hustled out. Gibbs-White can't get on it. Delap round the corner to Clark. Clark shimmies and then floats it to the right hand side. Good play from Clark. What's Johnson's first touchlight? It's good enough. outside the Forest box. Hudson-Odoi there back defending, out to O'Shea. O'Shea needs to put a good ball into the box, into the centre it comes, headed away by Morato. Murillo is on the deck, play continues. Greaves has turned into a flying left winger for Ipswich Town, but now the ball is out of play. Far side, it's a Forest ball at the midway stage of the second half of extra time.
Just watched that replay of Delap there, and he did catch him. He stuck his leg out.
From the one that was outside, it would have been a free kick.
Yeah, it would have been a free kick. It was just outside the box.
It's a Nottingham Forest throw over on the far side of the field. Forest have it with Aina. There is Gibbs-White still knitting things together. Still a massive threat to Ipswich Town progressing. Strong lung-busting run from Murillo, trying to get Nico Williams in on goal. Town did well again. They have defended for the most part pretty well from open play. Morsey looking a bit tired. Hudson-Odoi coming in field from the left touchline. Gibbs-White trying to get it back to Hudson-Odoi. He's managed it. Goes square into the area. Gibbs-White. Jota with a shot. It's pulled wide beyond the far post. Half a chance that for Forest.
Yeah, I think we've just got to start. We're playing little balls here, and we're getting caught on it. We need to be putting it in behind for Delap to run, stretch his legs. And that's the thing, he's getting frustrated, Delap there. Just put it in behind for him. Let him stretch his legs. Causing their own problems a little bit.
6 minutes from a penalty shootout. Ipswich Town trying to reach the last 8 of the FA Cup for the 8th time in their history. The first time in more than 3 decades. 1993. The last time Town got to the quarter-finals of this competition. Yates with a header forward to halfway, one in the air by Kayuste on the chest of Taylor. Don't have much left in his tank. It's back with Seltz. Town fans behind the goal off to our right. That's where Sam Morsey will want to take the spot kicks. Aina upfield, blocked off by Greaves. He's done well. Kayuste, not quite sure what that was. Lack of composure. Sliced his clearance across the field. It's brought down by Hudson-Odoi. The Swedes rather invited some pressure on Ipswich Town's penalty area. Williams down the left of it, teasing and tormenting O'Shea. Back the pass comes to Anderson. Now Hudson-Odoi running towards the Town box, plays a ball into the area to Williams. Williams attempts the cross, and it goes towards Gibbs-White. Good block challenge by Johnson. Again, good play. I've been really pleased for him tonight, Johnson. O'Shea's clearance doesn't go far enough. Picked up by Hudson-Odoi. Low cross into the area. Flying studs towards his goal is Kayuste, deflecting the ball out square for a Forest throw. With 5 minutes to go. We've played 115 minutes in this FA Cup 5th round tie. Forest have a throw. Williams goes short towards Hudson-Odoi. On his right foot, pulls it square. Anderson back to Hudson-Odoi. Eventually crosses into the centre. Looks a good ball, headed down, well defended. There's a shot. Oh, he's hit his own player, Murillo. Chance for Ipswich Town to break on the counter. Delap gets away from Gibbs-White up to halfway into the path of Clark. How adventurous are Town going to be? How many blue shirts are going to come forward? Clark has it on the left-hand side. Might have to check back. Nudge to the ground. Free kick.
Yeah, he's got to watch there with Clark when he's coming back, not to lose it, because we've committed men forward, and when he's coming back in himself, we've got the free kick, thankfully, but it could have been a little bit different if he hadn't gave the free kick, because we've committed people forward and they're on the attack.
116 minutes played in this FA Cup last 16 tie between Nottingham Forest and Ipswich Town at the City Ground. Is there a hero out there in blue from this long-range free kick? Townsend, surely its next goal wins territory. Way too much on that. Wasted. It's a goal kick to Seltz, the Forest goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's the first bad ball he's put in all day.
Yeah.
It really is. Fair play to the lad, unlucky.
He's been so good.
Both full-backs have. Johnson as well.
They've
Two of them.
really well.
The full team have. They've worked really hard.
Yeah. Murillo back to Seltz. I'd imagine Murillo will fancy a penalty kick. Long kick forward from Seltz. Underneath it is Wolfenden. Wolfenden heads the ball. Morsey beaten by Yates, rushing onto it. Morsey took a little clip round about the right temple from Yates, and it's a free kick in the centre circle.
Well done, referee.
So I'm looking at Delap, Clark, thinking of penalty kick. Taylor would fancy one. Morsey would have the character. Townsend might. Kayuste, of course, as well.
Wolfie.
Possibly. It was a bell that Burgess took a really, really good one in recent seasons for Ipswich Town when he was a bit of a surprise. Obviously won't be taking one tonight, sadly, but now and again a player pops up that you don't expect. Townsend, long ball forward into the box. Foul given against Ipswich for a challenge on Chris Wood, which left him poleaxed on the edge of the Forest area. 2 minutes away from Ipswich Town's second penalty shootout of the season. Let's hope they have more luck than they did against Wimbledon back in August. Seltz with this free kick off to our right hand side. Well, any winning goal, if there is one, is going to be phenomenally late, heartbreaking and dramatic. Hudson-Odoi down the left, in goes Wolfenden, continuing to have a good game. Through for Forest. Town have got to keep switched on, got to concentrate, keep their shape, defend every bit as well as they have done for the previous 118 minutes. We're at that stage. Hudson-Odoi, edge of the seat stuff, nerves jangling. Hudson-Odoi crossed into the middle, looks really dangerous. Brilliant defending from Wolfenden. Out behind it goes. It's another Forest corner, pretty much in the 120th minute of this FA Cup tie. This would be painful. This would be heartbreak. Come on, Ipswich Town, sort this one out. It's Anderson on this corner for Forest. Its next goal wins time, and it comes from the former Newcastle man onto the roof of the net. That'll do nicely.
It certainly will.
Made a right old pig's ear of that. The board is being readied. I can't see there being much more than a minute, if that, to be added on. Already Lee Grant and Kieran McKenna in conversation about penalty kick takers. We are, according to my watch, we're 15 seconds away from a penalty shootout. Palmer with this goal kick for Ipswich Town. Kieran McKenna ready to do his final little bit of work of the night, unless there's the latest of late winners. 1 minute of added on time to be played at the end of this game. Johnson goes back to Palmer. It's going to be horrible when the ball is off to our left for the next 40 seconds. Kayuste gets it over halfway to Taylor. Flick on header. There is Marato. Marato downfield. Woods a mile offside. Won by Wolfenden. A couple of good bits of work from him in recent times. Gibbs White. Forest almost get it through the middle. Grieve shuts the door. Out near side. Kieran McKenna speaking to Tim Robinson. He's been told to go back, Williams. Final 20 seconds of the added on minute at the end of extra time. Forward from Taylor. Out it goes on the halfway line. And there's a Town player down and requiring a little bit of stretching for cramp. It's Jack Taylor. Dr. O'Shea is sorting him out. That's it. It's finished here at the City Ground after 120 minutes between these two Premier League rivals. Nottingham Forest 1, Ipswich Town 1. Ipswich Town are about to take part in their first ever penalty shootout in the FA Cup, with the reward for either of these sides a quarter-final trip to Brighton. What's it all about now, Alex? Who wants to take a spot kick, isn't it? You've got to look in the eyes of players down there, and if there's 10 eyes wanting it, you pick those 5 players, don't you?
Yeah, whoever wants it. And to be fair, it's who's confident enough, who's feeling confident, who's not tired enough, who's mentally strong. Because sometimes when you're tired, you're not as mentally with it. So, yeah, I mean, listen, it's who's got the composure to step up and put the ball in the back of the net. It's not easy, Brenner. I've been there myself taking a penalty. It's not easy. You just got to pick your place and don't change your mind. The worst thing you can go is run up and change your mind halfway through that run up. I've done that and fluffed it before, and it's not great. You don't feel good about it. But I've also been the other end when I've put my team through to the quarter final of the cup. So yeah, It's a tough one. You've just got to stay calm, stay composed, and go and put your foot through the ball and hit the back of the net.
It must be the longest walk in football when you're handed the ball amongst your mates on the halfway line, and you come forward, you're bouncing it, and you're seeing the goalkeeper, your goalkeeper, standing outside the 18-yard area. The referee is there as well. So many hopes and dreams of supporters and teammates on your shoulders. You just got to deal with responsibility. But like you said there, you've got to know where you're going to put it and try your best to put it there. Like you say, that sort of change of mind, any kind of hesitation can be fatal. And it's also a chance for, of course, Matt Sells and Alex Palmer to be heroes. Sam Morsey from a long way out trying to lift the Ipswich Town supporters. He'll be desperate to win the coin toss and take the ball towards them off to our right hand side. Overall, this will be Town's 14th competitive penalty shootout, 4 wins and 9 defeats in the 13 so far. Their last win was against Reading when Kieran Slicker was the hero early on last season. Of course, they lost to Wimbledon earlier on this campaign. The two captains, Ryan Yates and Sam Morsey, have been called towards the 3 match officials on halfway. How important is this coin toss, and what end that they're taking at, do you think, Alex?
Well, I think it's an important coin toss for the Ipswich Town. If we win it, to go to the Ipswich Town end, that'd be great. It's like being at home, because they'll make a lot of noise. The same for the Forest as well. But listen, it is about the composure and setting up there. I mean, fans watching this saying, oh, how can you miss a penalty? I tell you what, that goal shrinks as soon as you pick that ball up. And the size of some of these goalkeepers these days, they make it very difficult for you.
And the other thing is that some of these players, one would imagine, stepping up for both sides, have got 120 intense minutes in their legs as well. I doubt we're going to see 10 substitutes take them. So there's that to be considered as well. The mental fatigue as well as the physical fatigue. Well, Sam didn't win the coin toss. The ball has gone off to our left-hand side, the opposite end to the ground, which is hosting the Ipswich Town fans. It's going to be Ipswich Town going first.
I'd love to see us go through, Brennan.
Would you want to go first or second? What would be your pick there?
I'd rather go first.
Get the goals on the board.
Yeah,
hopefully.
get them on the board.
Mr. Harrington is having a word with Alex Palmer and Matt Sells. The City ground is livened up. Chris Wood, I think it is, stepping forward. So it's going to be Nottingham Forest, by the looks of things, taking the first penalty kick. 2 former West Brom players involved, Palmer and Wood.
He's a bit of a blaster, Wood, isn't he?
As long as it's off target,
yeah,
we'll be happy with whatever his technique is. He's Palmer just shifting a few water bottles behind his goal. Of course, Alex Palmer will know all about where Chris Wood's penalties have tended to go this season. Ipswich Town have the luxury of having watched the Exeter penalty shootout involving Nottingham Forest, so that will all be a part of Rennie Gilmartin's tutoring of Palmer in the build-up. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds, we're about to get this FA Cup penalty shootout underway at the City ground. Alex Palmer on the goal line off to our left. The other 2 men in the area, referee Tony Harrington and Chris Wood of Nottingham Forest. Scored a spot kick against Town in the league here earlier on this season. How is he going to start this shootout? Silence descends on the City ground. Forward comes Wood and scores emphatically. Nottingham Forest take a 1-0 lead in the shootout.
Yeah, he's a bit of a blaster, and it's a good penalty. Really no danger. Straight in the back of the net. Power, precision, everything you want from a penalty. Bang.
Well, he was always likely to score at some point, Chris Wood, so let's not worry too much about that. Sam Morsey steps forward for Ipswich Town. Full of bottle, so courageous, was never going to shirk his responsibilities. It's Morsey with an opportunity for the Blues off to our left to level this shootout after 2 spot kicks. Standing over the ball, paces back 2 or 3 yards, all eyes on the Egyptian midfielder. Forward he comes and scores beautifully. gave Seltz the eyes. He went off to his left-hand side. The ball is in the opposite corner, and it's 1-1 after both sides have taken a spot kick.
Great penalty. Really, what your captain just put the goalkeeper the wrong way and just bent it in the bottom left. Good penalty. Really good penalty.
It was. Gibbs White is next cab off the rank for Nottingham Forest. Palmer resumes his position in between the posts, off to our left. Long old night on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. In the next 10 minutes, one would have thought one of these two sides will be through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. Come on, Alex Palmer, be a hero. It's Gibbs White preparing to take this third spot kick for Nottingham Forest. Some fans can't bear to look. The chap down in front of me has turned and looked at me. Poor fella. Gibbs White into the corner of the net. Palmer went the right way, but it was too good a finish from the England international.
Yeah, good penalty again. Slow run up, and he's just put it right in the corner. He went the right way, Palmer, like you said. Nearly anything close to the centre, he saved it, but that's right in the corner. Can't get any closer. Delap coming up now.
Liam Delap is taking the next penalty for Ipswich Town, greeted by the boos and the jeers. He's been pretty reliable so far this season for Ipswich Town as the England under-21 international. 2 from 2 so far. What can he do under the spotlight, under the pressure of a shootout? Can he make it 2-2 after 4? Forward he comes and slots it in low. No goalkeeper was saving that.
Oh, good penalty again. Power again, right in the corner. 4 good penalties so far, Brenner.
Have been. That was clinical from Delap. Anderson, of course, the other squad members, coaching staff, either side of the halfway line down below us. Nuno out of view at the moment. Kieran McKenna just to the left of the travelling party. Palmer just trying to knock some mud off the studs of both boots off to our left. Now setting himself, clapping his hands in front and behind him, stretching up now, touching his crossbar. It's Elliot Anderson is on the 5th spot kick, trying to put Forest 3-2 up. Good long run up from the number 8 into the corner of the net. It's another fabulous penalty kick. There's been so much quality in all 5 of these so far.
Yeah, but you know what I like about them, Brenner? There's none of this stop, start and carry on. It's just straight up there. Precision, made your mind up, put it in the corner. Fantastic.
The pressure, of course, is building with every penalty that hits the back of the net. Jens Kajuste yet to score for Ipswich Town in League or Cup. Is the next one staring down the barrel. Off to our left-hand side, Seltz on his goal line. It's Kajuste with a healthy run-up, trying to make it 3-3 in the shootout, and he does. Seltz went off to his right-hand side. It's fairly central from the Swede, but into the back of the net. 3-3, no one has missed.
Yeah, another good penalty. Fair play to these 6 players.
Wow, I'm feeling the nerves up here, Alex. So how they feel down there, I've got no idea.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Williams, good player. Very, very good player. What can he do?
Slip, I hope.
Well, miss the target would be nice.
Yeah.
Neither keeper's really got near any of these so far. Let's hope that changes now. 6 penalty kicks taken, 6 scored. It's Williams against Palmer. This to put Nottingham Forest 4-3 up in the shootout. Forward comes Williams into the corner of the net again.
Wow. What a penalty.
Fabulous penalty kick. Yet another one. Ben Johnson. Wow. The pressure on the shoulders of Ben Johnson is enormous. If he misses, Forest will go through if they put away their next penalty kick. If he scores, we're effectively into sudden death early. Come on, Ben Johnson, keep a cool head, put the ball in the back of the net, forward he comes, and he does. That's a brilliant penalty kick from Ben Johnson. Right, 4-4. We are effectively into sudden death. Callum Hudson-Odoi is the final penalty kick taker of the initial selection for Nottingham Forest.
It's a great penalty for Ben Johnson.
It was, wasn't it?
Absolutely. They've all been great. They've all been great from both teams.
Live on BBC Radio Suffolk and BBC Sounds. 1-1 after 120 minutes. It's now 4-4 in this penalty shootout after 8 exceptional spot kicks. Hudson-Odoi up against Palmer with kick number 9. Come on, Alex Palmer. No, it's in as well. Of course it is. Oh, Jack Taylor, please do the business. I'm going to hate seeing whoever comes forward in blue from now on. I just have so much sympathy for them. The pressure, well, this is extreme. This really is. We know how cleanly you can hit a football, but it's about a lot more than that right now. He's stumped a couple of times on the penalty spot. Who are you is the chant from the City ground. Matt Seltz on his goal line. Jack Taylor to keep Ipswich Town in the FA Cup. Miss, and Forest are through. Forward he comes, saved by Seltz. Poor penalty, and Nottingham Forest celebrate. They are through to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. An absolute class from Ryan Yates. He's gone straight to Jack Taylor, as his teammates now do. He'll be in tears. Ipswich Town's long wait for a place in the last 8 of the FA Cup goes on. Nottingham Forest have beaten them on penalty kicks. Forest will travel to Brighton with a place at Wembley at stake in the last 8 in a couple of weeks' time. And that's it for Ipswich Town's involvement in cup competitions this season. Heartbreaking way for it to end, Alex Matthew.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody's got to miss, Brenner. Somebody's got to miss, and unfortunately it was Jack Taylor tonight. It wasn't the best. I mean, he's got a good strike in him, and it wasn't his best strike of the ball. He's side-footed it in the corner. Keeper's guessed right, and that's what happens. Everybody misses penalties. Somebody's he's had the courage to step up and take it. Just one of these things. Somebody's got to miss.
How much do I love Ryan Yates? That was terrific when everybody in red went across to the far side of the field. Absolute class from the Nottingham Forest captain. His first thought was to go towards Jack Taylor. Anyway, in terms of Ipswich Town's performance over the 2 hours, lots to be happy enough about, wasn't there?
Yeah, and they played well. They did do well, and they created chances, and it's the most chances I've seen them create for a long time. And they defended well. I think they've done themselves proud tonight. They really have. To go to penalties, as you say, this team's in the top third in the Premiership, and I think we'll give them a game down at Portman Road again. It'll be a very similar game. Feel for the players, they've gave it everything tonight. Coaching staff, everybody, those fans up there, they'll know they've gave it everything. But somebody's got to win when it comes to penalties, and tonight it was not the Forest's night.
Never seen Nuno so excited. He's running around the pitch, loving life. He's just made sure that Ola Aina jumped on his back. He's running around giving him a piggyback. Poor Kieran McKenna, we're seeing his face, sad, disappointed, frustrated that his side couldn't pull this one off. They're going across, giving a rousing reception from their travelling fans, which was nice to see and thoroughly deserved. And you just feel really sorry for Jack Taylor, don't you? He had the courage to go up there, stepped up, took the penalty under phenomenal pressure, but made it a bit too easy for Seltz, low towards his left-hand side. But yeah, he'll just have to crack on with it, Taylor, won't he?
Yeah. And that'll be forgot about in a week's time. It happens. That's what happens, Brenner. If we keep saying that, I mean, there's been loads of people miss penalties. Everybody misses penalties. It's just on the night. We surprised. I was surprised because he was tired. Do you know what I mean? I was surprised, and it looked a tired penalty. He never really got through it, and he's a good striker of the ball, Jack Taylor, and he never really got a hold of it at all. It wasn't in the corner. But listen, you can't criticise the lad. Everybody's got to take a penalty. He stepped up there, and as I keep saying, somebody's got to miss, Brenner.
And what impact, if any, does this have on Town's league form? I mean, it would have been nice to have an extra game in a few weeks' time in terms of an FA Cup quarter-final. What can they take from this into, I don't know, Palace and Forest at home, Bournemouth, other games on the horizon?
I think they take a lot in there. Like, they've done every game, and I think Kieran McKenna takes them into every game on that way, with that thing that they can win. They can go and win the game. Unfortunately, they just haven't done it. We said it again through in the commentary. They've been in every game. They just need to take the chances when they're on top. They create so many chances, then they don't take them, and then the other teams take the quality and they put them away, and that's what kills us. We can't get back in the game. I still think Kuhn is out for Wolves, so maybe going to be bad. We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
That could be a massive thing for Ipswich Town, because he makes them tick. If he gets 3-4 games suspended, that'd be great. But as I say, we're still to go to Wolves, we're still to go to Leicester. There's loads of points still there, Brenner. Still not ruling us out. I know our job is really, really difficult, but I'm still not ruling us up, staying up with the way we're playing.
Well, fingers crossed, but sadly it is the old cliche about Ipswich Town now being able to concentrate fully on Premier League points and getting as many as they can from their last 11 games of the season, starting at Palace this coming weekend, because after penalty shootouts in both cup competitions this season, Wimbledon back in the Carabao Cup tonight here at Nottingham Forest, who did put away their penalties expertly. They were terrific, as were all of Town's, until sadly Jack Taylor saw his save done. It's Nottingham Forest who will travel to Brighton in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. That's it for Ipswich Town after their shootout defeat here at the City Ground tonight.